Hey, comic book people, and welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So I want to thank everybody who joined us on the massive live stream that happened just this past Friday. Joshua Williamson, Tom King, Tom Riley all stopped in to say hello and hang out with us. We had an epic 4-hour live stream, which is now available for posterity on this channel. So if you wanted to catch that stream, it's there for you. If you'd like to catch streams like that in the future, or this show in particular, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications so you know when we're going live, and you get those updates, because we also use our community tab to let you know about pressing events that are happening at ComicPop across both channels, of course. ComicPop Prime, that's youtube.com/ComicPop, and ComicPop Returns, here where like the live, more current kind of stuff happens. So make sure to, subscribe and click the bell so you know when that's happening. For example, we got some updates and some news for you about other appearances. I have this little handy dandy graphic that I have up on socials and on our Discord, which, by the way, if you'd like to join our Discord, it's free, it's open, it's welcoming, a good community. You can always click the link in the comments, or rather the description below every video, to find any links we're talking about for anything, and particularly that Discord. There's an invite link in the description below. You could join up and subscribe to ComicPop Plays, youtube.com/ComicPop Plays. That link is down there. You watch Tiffany do streams on Tuesdays and Wednesdays typically. And yeah.
But I feel like it's so bad because it's like October's one of my favorite streaming months.
Mm-hmm.
And October's always the hardest streaming month.
It's been a crazy month. And it feels like it hasn't even really started.
Every
and we're
Wednesday,
already
I've had something to do, basically.
Yeah. No. I constantly there's an and
I feel like really badly because I really miss that community.
Yeah, no, you have created a really lovely and supportive and
really nice,
awesome community.
It's really nice.
Yeah, and if you're like, what is that? What do you mean? There's a whole group of people who watch Tiffany streams. Is there a name for like the subset of Comic Pop that watches the streams that comes in like regularly?
The best.
The best. I like that too.
I have no name.
The best. Well, that's their assignment. If any of them are watching, you'll have to bring that up in the stream next time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So New York Comic Con is this Thursday. Which
I am not ready.
No. I was actually looking at my like to-do list because I've already been setting things up. I was saying how I was like, I want to hit the con aggressively this year. And even the last like 3 years or so, we haven't. Like we've kind of just been going and catching things as they come. But ultimately, it still was really stressful. It was still a lot of work. So I'm like, well, I might as well have something more tangible than like just a regular old montage of footage that I don't have time to cut together anyway. So we're doing a couple of interviews. I have Rom V set up on Saturday.
Oh, no way.
Yep, he and I are going to chat about the New Gods, and I may or may not have seen some of the art for that book. And like, no one is ready for that book. Like, I'm serious about how like real that book is.
Okay.
But that's happening. I'm going to talk to. I'm probably going to talk to Tom at some point. We were chatting just a few minutes ago. He and I about like,
what is this life you live?
I know, it's really weird. Of course, there's.
I'm like, oh, I have ghosts on my shirt. And you're like, I
love that.
I just talked to Tom King.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, he was actually responding to a text that I'd sent him like days ago.
Were like, oh, I'm eating popcorn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you have a dope sweater. That definitely upstages your popcorn, and possibly some things that Tom King does. But yeah, so I'm going to try and talk to him, Josh as well. I'm going to try and get something on the books with him.
Nice.
But there's nothing official.
Nice.
Because they're both incredibly busy guys. Scott, I should hope we'll have a chance to talk to him, but that's again not on the books. We also have like signings and stuff like that. It's all to say, New York Comic Con is a huge, like, exciting show that we hope to see many of you at. And if you are going to be there, you should know that we're going to set up a little like meet and greet. And because of the peculiar nature of our schedules this year, we're going to have to do it a little differently than we have before. Yeah. Normally we try to get a day where the whole crew is there, and then we get everybody in one shot, and we just go show up on that one day and we'll see you there. And if you see us any other day, stop us and say hello and get a selfie. But like otherwise, come on this day. In this case, we're going to be doing two meetups. The first of which is going to be on Friday.
Yes.
And that's going to be
go ahead.
That's going to be probably around 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the second one is going to be on Saturday.
Yep.
And that's also going to be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't even need the Eastern Standard Time. You're going to be there physically. It's not like there's going to be any Californians that are going to be like,
I gotta flying in
and need to know exactly what time it is in the state they're leaving.
Yeah.
But that's going to be booth 3745. It's also known as Zap Comics booth with 2 P's.
That should be on the main floor.
That's on the main floor. So on 2:30 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, if you go to booth 3745, you will see us. And Zap is going to be accommodating for us. There is no space to sit. So we'll just be like hovering around the booth. And what I think we need to make sure we get ahead of time is if you are going to be at the meet and greet because of this announcement here today, then we can tell you ahead of time it's going to be crowded. So we're going to try and accommodate for the foot traffic that comes through. We did a meet and greet last year at Zap's booth as well, I think. And, it got a little unruly. So I think we need to just make sure we hug the side of the booth and not, block
you guys will figure
the
it out.
mercantile
I will not
situation.
be there on Friday.
But Tiffany will not be there on Friday. And
I have to work.
And I don't think that I think Ben will be there on Saturday.
I thought Ben is there Thursday and Friday.
Yes, Ben will be with me on Friday. Tiffany will be with me on Saturday. That's how it's going to work. So you want to meet Ben, come on Friday, and also come on Saturday to meet Tiffany. But Tiffany will not be there on Friday. But like the whole crew, if you go for Friday and Saturday, 2:30 p.m. 2:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So we'll hopefully see you there at New York Comic Con at booth 3745. Big information about that on Saturday. Not only will Tiffany be there, but also Owen Likes Comics will be there. And he's from merry old England.
Yeah.
So
cheers.
Even that's happening. And maybe Hassan will be there. I don't know. We'll see. It really depends. He has a very full schedule, which I'm thrilled for him for. But yeah. But Hassan will be at the con. So
will the couch be there?
The couch, yeah. I'm going to drag it on a big cart. I assume you'll be sitting on it the entire time. I'll have to ferry you around.
I think it's more like I'd be pulling it.
You pull the couch that is the establishment of Comic Pop, like metaphorically. I pull the heavy couch physically when it needs to be pulled. But yeah. So Ethan probably will not be there, but if he is, be prepared for a surprise.
If he's going to be there, it would be Friday.
It would be Friday,
I believe.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's happening. I'm excited about that.
Gunther be there.
Will Gunther be there? He's not official. We had to retire Gunther, not because we got any flack from Marvel, but more for me being one day Gunther will appear in Eternals 2 or something, and then I won't be able to use him. So I don't want to get into an angry video game nerd situation where Kite Man was I think it was Angry Video Game. I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Angry Video Game nerd. It was somebody else. But I'm not using established characters.
Fair.
We'll have another Gunther. But yeah. So that's happening. There doesn't seem to be a plan for any Terminator signings, unfortunately. But if you have a Terminator comic, I will sign it.
I mean, I'm sure Zap will bring them.
Yeah, Zap will probably have them. So if you missed one,
and
you could
Declan
probably get
Shalvey
one.
Is going to be at the show.
Declan Shalvey and Luke Sparrow will be there. So the artist,
most of the team.
Yeah, you will get 3/4 of the art team or the art and writing
75%.
team. Yeah, you will get 75% of the team if you go to New York Comic Con. Declan Shalvey, Luke Sparrow, myself. Alas, Colin Craker should not be there, but
will not.
Well, I don't think he
should.
Well, should not because I'm
Probably
pretty
not.
sure he won't be there. But I don't want to speak out of turn in case there's some kind of a group raid or something by Flying Irishmen to New York. I don't know. But anyway,
that's a great name for a band.
Yeah, the Flying Irishman. There's no way that isn't taken. Anything Irishman has been taken. Any insert word ing Irishman. Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
Quite.
We also have a couple other things to mention before we get into the comic books. The first of which is we're gonna have a special guest on today.
It's me.
Yeah, it's Tiffany as usual. No. Alex is gonna come by from Dynamite, and we're gonna be doing a little bit of a Terminator giveaway. So we're gonna be giving away copies of Terminator. That's the way it's going to work.
That's exciting.
I know. So I'm really excited about that. They're going to be coming probably about a half an hour. But Danielle's gonna probably handle the like.
Does she know this?
Yeah, I told her ahead
Oh,
of time.
fantastic.
The raffling, because we've done giveaways on this channel before, and I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware we're going to do a little bit of a raffle kind of thing, and so keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
And so that's happening later today. So if you missed your opportunity, or you just want an extra copy that's going to be cool and rare and chase and interesting, because I know what kind of what covers we're going to be doing, it's going to be dope. But yeah, so but if you want to participate in this, of course, I should mention that I think you need to be in the continental United States. So I do apologize for our folks overseas, or in the outer banks of America, like Alaska and Hawaii. But also,
yeah.
if you want to enter this contest to win, you will need to be able to be reached.
Yes, please.
So
you have to have some way that you're comfortable.
Like to be contacted. Like people need to be able to get your address and mail you things. So what we'll do is you need to be in the chat, you need to be available, and you just sound off in the chat when we identify you. If you don't sound off within like 2 or 3 minutes after we make the announcement, we're going to move on to the next person.
What will they do after sounding off?
You're going to have to email me, I think. I think that's the plan, is email me, sal@comicpop.net, and give me your address.
Danielle will make sure, moderator Danielle, who has the wrench next to her name, will tell you who to email. Do this.
That's right.
Like immediately.
Yeah.
Please.
So here on Off the Rack, of course, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can sponsor today's show by reading or using super chats. We'll read them. You can read them yourself, but I won't hear it. But we'll be reading them ourselves. We're going to save that to the end. And of course, we'll also be using that time to identify the book of the week. What do we think is a standout book of the week? And I don't think that books we've written should count. We'll see what happens, but we'll talk about it. So let's get into some comic books, shall we?
Shall us?
I read Ultimates 5 from Dennis Camp and Juan Frigeri.
Okay.
Apologies for that butchering of your name. But yeah, this is a fun issue. More of the Avengers kind of like adding to their ranks. This is an entire issue dedicated to the introduction of the new Hawkeye. The new Hawkeye of the Ultimate Universe, which is to say, like, apparently Clint Barton, if he doesn't become Hawkeye early in his career, he is not interested in being Hawkeye ever. And so like the Ultimates like approached him off panel, offered him the Hawkeye suit, and he threw it all in the garbage, and then this character picked it out.
He's like,
I'm
a baker.
Yeah, like, what? I'm way happier. And I'm like, I bet you are, honestly. So yeah, this is all just like Captain America spars with Hawkeye while they commit domestic terrorism, and yeah, so that's it. It's again, this is what you're here for. Like, you're here for, if you're reading Ultimates at this point by issue 5, what the Ultimates is about. The book is about criticizing like bad American policies. It's about highlighting people who are not given a voice and represented in comics, or particularly superhero comics, I should say, and further rounding out the Avengers of this new universe, or Ultimates as they're referred to here. So yeah, if you're not on board for that, you're not gonna like the series. But you knew that 3 issues ago.
Sure.
But this is a fine issue. Again, you get all the things that you're promised when you're picking up a superhero comic. You get fighting and character and action and some kind of social commentary. And so there it is. It's a fun issue. Again, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, I like Ultimates. I don't like it as much as Ultimate Spider-Man, but like I like it well enough. And so if I'm not singing its praises or shouting it from the rooftop, it's only because I'm just enjoying it quietly.
Okay.
I'm just like, oh, this is a good book. Moving on. Like, I don't have a lot to say about it.
Sure,
but it is the art is fine. I dig it. I think that Frigeri's art is doing a job, and I don't feel like it is.
That's what I feel like it works sometimes.
Right? Yeah. Like,
I am doing a job.
It shows up, it does the job, and it gets out quickly. It doesn't like overstay its welcome. I don't want to dig on it. I don't want to like rag on it, because I don't think I'm ragging on it. I just feel like it's not as flashy. It's not like it's a Chichetto on Ultimate Spider-Man, nor is it the fine individual whose name escapes me, who's drawing the Black Panther book, which again looks so good. Ultimates looks good. It's just like, it looks, it's a little more grounded than the other two. They're not as high flying and fantastical, which I think is kind of funny. And so as a result, it could kind of float or fly under the radar for some folks. but it is so like welcomingly consistent that I want to just shout that out.
I get that. It is Stefano Caselli. Okay. I was like, my brain was just like Alessandro Cappuccio, and I don't know why. And I'm like, but I know it's not Cappuccio.
It is not. I should also mention, before we get further or deeper into the comics, that I forgot to mention that they kind of officially announced.
This is part of the news?
This is part of the
rolling
news.
Back to the news.
Rolling back to the news. They had already mentioned that the regular artist on the Ninja Turtles book, of course, one of the #1 books of the year, but it's Juan Ferreira from the Batman and Robin book.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
All right.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
That's a great leap.
I agree.
Interesting.
So Ferreira's work is fantastic. He's going to be at New York Comic Con. Definitely go up to his booth and say, "Hey, man, I love your work from Batman and Robin. I saw it on Off the Rack. I would love to pick up your Turtles book when you become the regular artist on it." And that's going to be really cool.
How do you think it's going to translate? Like, what do you think?
I think it's going to be. I mean, like it's a no-brainer. You know, Ferreira. If you look at his Bane or any of his dinosaurs from the Batman and Robin book, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But it also is cool and fun, and the style is just so suited for that world. So I'm down.
That's
so yeah, I just wanted to say that's really cool and exciting.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. What else we got? Oh, we can talk about. Okay. That's.
I was just pulling that up. My apologies.
We can talk about X-Force.
Yeah, let's talk about X-Force.
I think we should talk about X-Force.
#4.
Yep, X-Force #4.
Okay, this is no. That's written by Jeff Thorne with art by Marcus Toe.
Yep, the same consistent team.
Yeah, great.
It's amazing that Marvel's putting out a book that's up to issue 4 and the same goddamn team working on it.
So not true. But yeah, like Jeff Thorne, as we stated before in the past 3 issues, really like presenting us with a great story. That's making me feel a little more comfortable with like the new changes in terms of the X line.
Yes.
I know I have taken this opportunity to kind of pull back from this, which is fine because like as DC has been ramping up their own stuff, I've wanted to keep a toe in that world, and I found that X-Force is a way for me to do that
easily,
in a way. I like the fact that there is a full like issue 1. Here is part of a story, and this is the story that's going to carry us through. But that each issue itself
has its own.
It's like like an episode.
Yes.
For sure.
Although the last 2 have been kind of like a 2-parter.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that. But I'm also okay with it if that's how we end up sticking, or if we go back to the episodic formula. I'm okay with it because like it was a gentle introduction.
Yeah.
Right. And it just really feels like in the wake of Krakoa.
Oh, absolutely. No, this feels like a book that kind of earned its spot as a result of Krakoa's kind of like downfall. Like the other books feel like I had an idea for X-Men and I had it in a drawer and just been sitting there waiting for it. This feels like this actually earns. It's actually ironic because it doesn't have the From the Ashes on the top of the cover.
Yes, but
it actually does feel like it is from the ashes.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
this issue in particular, I mean, like Ford's like early on lets us know like he uses words like ley lines and stuff like that, and that piques my interest immediately.
Naturally.
But this issue in particular, it leans a little bit more into the mystic, into the magic.
Oh, they have a whole conversation about it.
There's a whole lot about it. The sacred geometry mentioned. What does that mean? Like in terms of like for people who are super analytical or scientific, and like leaning into the magic, that we literally go to other world. Like there's just so much in this issue that I'm like.
You're like, oh, this really speaks to me. I mean, they reference Otherworld, Captain Britain being Betsy Braddock, like all that stuff.
My magic sense is tingling. Like, I'm here for it.
Exactly.
And the fact that I'm buckled.
I mean, the fact that like the cover gave it away. I forgot when I was reading this, it was digital, and I forgot to like look at the cover. I was just like, there we go. And once it said Florida Everglades, I'm like, all right, so what page does Man-Thing appear on? And I'm like, oh, yeah, here he is.
Man-Thing making a great appearance. Like, yeah, it's just Man-Thing. Do I think that there are great Man-Thing stories out there? Sure.
Yeah.
Do I love the fact that Man-Thing just kind of shows
up in random books?
I'm like,
it's
yes,
way better
thank you.
Yeah.
Like you entered into his world. He's like, hello, hi, I'm here. Excuse me. But yeah, like I love the fact that we have a team that part of it is like super scientific.
Yes.
Like sage, analytical, informational, right? Like, the kind of person who you'd sit with and like would go like, magic is just things that science hasn't explained, and I'd be like, shut up,
lame.
In
Also,
other words,
no,
Ethan.
Yeah. No, he makes that joke. He just thinks that's
I
funny
know.
because of how lazy the MCU was about it.
I
But
know.
yes.
And of course you have Forge. But having Betsy on that team, like immediately, I'm like, wow, you know, Betsy's kind of moved on and stuff like that. But I love the fact that like Jeff is like, hey, Captain Britain.
This is
the
the
whole
thing.
thing.
It's
And,
actually kind of cool and a little bit OP to have Captain Britain on your team.
Yes, it is. But I also love the fact that it's like we use Otherworld as like a quick gateway between, and Betsy's like, probably shouldn't do this.
Yeah. I'm sure this will open up a thing.
And like the hint at the why. And I'm like,
yeah.
My favorite sassy lady.
I know. It's going to be like, when is Saturnine going to show up in this book?
I know.
Probably soon.
But even if not, like I loved that.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, whereas if we see that again, great detail.
Yes.
Like, and again, you know, we're getting a little like hints at the Rachel Betsy relationship.
Sure.
Without being like, you know,
this is the book. This is what the book is about.
Right.
Like, no, it's just like, oh, and this is we get very quick,
like,
not even
like normal,
snapshots.
like,
they're actually like more like ghost images of the relationship. Like they're very subtle, and not even subtle, but like just blink and you'll miss it moments.
Yeah.
Where even if you remove those moments, you don't even know they're dating really.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun little, like, you know, they get a fight, they get to teleport, they get to speculate about what the hell a man thing is in the first place. We also get a big tease for a super team of Avengers that
yes, of course,
I don't recognize at all, and I don't know if it's like, I don't recognize them, and I'm sorry. It could be that they're from like a What If book I missed, or they're from something I just didn't read, or it's a brand new version of the Avengers. Obviously, I mean, I think it's fair to say they're from another reality. It's just a question of which one.
I'm here for it, but I really like this iteration of Aurora's outfit.
Yeah,
it's
like
fun.
A
combination of like apparently a fan favorite that I hate. Like that's my hot take, is there's like an outfit for Storm that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, I know.
But this is like a modernization of that, and I dug it.
I would say it's an Avengersization of it.
Whatever. I really liked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I like that whole, like the whole look for her.
Yeah.
Is great.
Oh,
Obviously,
cool.
like, listen, a lot of great characters on that page, but like my eyes were like,
yeah, Storm. Well, and also, of course, it makes you think of the Avengers book because Storm just joined the Avengers anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
there's just so much like in this book that are like plot threads.
Yes.
Right. But not like ones that are forgotten. It's just, you know, it's like, oh, okay. At any point in time, maybe we'll learn a little bit more about Tank. Because like Tank's one of those characters I'm like, I really don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And there's like this subtle mystery, but it's being dwarfed right now by something that's a little more important.
Right,
team,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I like how in the beginning they were like, oh, I think we screwed up, it's over. And he's like, no, like we did screw up, but like it's not like 100% over. Like we still have some time.
Right, but that's a great moment too, because the rest of the team is like, dude, we're doing this because like
you said we needed to be.
What's going on.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to feel like maybe you don't know what's going on.
No, I totally know what's going on.
It's group work. But yeah, I love this book.
Yeah,
quite a bit. Like I said, like I feel like this is definitely for me where I am, like where I'm at in terms of like
where X-Men is right now.
Yeah. So
this is the book that's like, oh, don't quit all of X-Men.
Right. Well, this one also makes me, it gives me that feeling of there's a book for everyone out there.
Yeah,
for sure. Again, like I'm also enjoying, like I enjoyed the first issue of Dazzler. But this like book in particular has just been really, really consistently fun, consistently good. And I really do care about the characters on this team and their dynamic. Because, you know, Forge is like putting himself in into a bit of a corner here, surrounded by psychics and, you know, Sage, who's like super intelligent and can figure so much out.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing if this is going to be a little bit of a downfall or a learning lesson for Forge. For sure.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. So what?
Oh yes, and of course, I'm sorry. We should talk about the art. The art has been literally incredible.
Yeah.
Marcus To for me was an artist I discovered because of their work on Shang-Chi.
That's right.
Just super great looking work. Very like different than the artists who had been on it previously.
Former viewer of ours.
Wait, really?
Well, of course, you know, until you said that he couldn't draw children, and
that was not Marcus To,
wasn't it? I thought it was.
No, it was not. Nope. It was not.
No, it was. Look at the tape.
It wasn't. It wasn't. No, Marcus To is was on Shang-Chi, and that was not the book.
All right.
I was talking about.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I am.
Well, in any case.
But yeah, Marcus Toe's art has this incredible
It was
like
Bernard Chang.
yes. It has this incredible heroic styling
Yeah, it's very
to it, but like also is distinct. It's not like it's not generic.
no.
You know what I mean?
No,
Like
it's not.
it has just so much energy to it, and there's just so much like the interesting angles.
Yeah, it's
You're
like a Marvel house style. Like this is the
It
modern
is?
the modern Marvel style is kind of like helped to be pioneered by
Yeah, yeah,
Toe,
yeah.
I think. Where it's like it reminds you of things like Pepe Larraz. Like it reminds you
A
of
little
these kind
bit,
of
but
like
it's not like
it's not aping off it. It's not trying to be that. It's just like, oh, that reminds me of other Marvel books I've seen. It
yeah.
looks nothing like a DC book. It feels like a Marvel book.
Right, but what I really like about Marcus Toe's artwork is that you can color it with these beautiful, bright, vibrant colors.
Yeah.
And this issue in particular, since we were hinting a little bit more magical, like it just really hit me. Like though, like it's just a really good art style for this book.
Yes.
It gets to have that like exhilarating color palette because it works with his art style.
Yeah.
It's just good. You know, it's like, you know, like you're not watching Toe like necessarily like break the box in terms of like panel layouts all the time.
No, but when he does, it's like fun and special.
It makes an impact, but like the panels, like the panel work that he does are impactful.
Yeah.
And you know,
but clean and also
good.
like you know, yeah. Works.
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about Batman now. I want to get ahead, you know, because it's gonna be a huge like you know part of the show that we don't know how long the show is gonna run as a result of the addition of the.
Well,
of the
hang
extra
on a
guest.
second. Before we do that, I do want to talk about this really quickly before I won't be here to talk about it necessarily. I do want to talk about Terminator #1 from like Dynamite Comics came out this week. With writing by Declan Shalvey and Sal Cavalli, with art by Luke Sparrow and Colin Craker. So this is a new launch of the Terminator series by Dynamite.
Yes.
Declan Shalvey, you know, working on a more like dour sort of, you know, darker, bleak sort of first issue here, in which we get to see a couple who, you know, since like the late 70s has been hunted by a Terminator, and to see them into their old age, at which point it's like, like the Terminator is caught up.
Yeah.
And like what's going to happen to them. It's bleak, so I'm sure you can figure it out from there. But anyway, the real star of the show, of course, is the backup, Buried Alive, written by Sal Cavalli, who happens to be joining us today. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
New Terminator writer Sal Cavalli for joining us today on the show. We really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate that being had. Thank you.
Now, I know there's only 2 pages in this first issue of your story, but can you tell me how many pages total there are going to be?
Absolutely. No, I'm glad you asked, because I think there was a little bit of confusion after the first issue, because while I did go on no fewer than 7 or 8 podcasts to promote this, you know, the message is going to get lost somewhere or down the road, but there are 10 pages in total of the backup story that I wrote with collaborator Colin Craker, doing some spectacular pages that if you liked the first 2 pages, you ain't seen nothing yet, folks. But this is going to be a 10-page story spread out over 5 issues. So you're going to get 2 pages of story per issue for the first arc. And as I understand it, when the 5 issues is complete, Dynamite will pursue a trade paperback where you'll have the collection of Declan's full arc, along with the 10-page backup with Colin Craker's fantastic pencil work.
Yeah.
And artwork for that matter. I believe he did most of it. But it's really fun, and I'm glad that people are enjoying it. I'm so grateful for Dynamite giving me this opportunity and for allowing me to play in this world that I love so much. You know, of course, there's a lot of interesting pitfalls and possibilities within like working with IPs and franchises and licensed comics and creating ideas and stuff like that, and working within that framework. And I'm really you know, I was up for the challenge, and I was excited to be a part of it, and I'm very grateful to everybody who gave it a shot, and I hope that they continue to do so for the next 4 issues after this. As I understand it, there's you know, you can pre-order the next issue already.
Whoa.
So the FOC is not complete on issue 2 of Terminator, and one way of fixing that up is by just telling your local comic book store or whatever shop you pre-order your books at, I just want issues 1 through 5. Just put me down for issues 1 through 5, and then you don't have to think about it anymore. And the books either just go into your bag or into your box and get mailed to you.
So okay. So can you tell me a little bit about the process that you went through in order to get into the mind of a Terminator?
Well, I've always been in the mind of a Terminator at some point or another, given my predilection for this franchise. But as far as thinking about what a Terminator thinks, thankfully I didn't have to think too much about the mechanics of the killer cyborg, because they are victims of their programming. They don't really have to really inhabit a character so much as they have to be a driving force of plot. And of course they have that unenviable duty of being both an antagonist and a plot device.
Right.
But in this case I had to get into the minds of the characters that are up against this unstoppable force.
Wow.
And that's of course the Dr. Hassan and his wife Imani, which haven't really been explored yet. Obviously we were introduced to them in page 2, but you'll see more of them and their struggle and how they are not prepared for dealing with an unstoppable killing machine from the future, but how they rise above it or meet the challenge. So
now,
that was mostly what was the big challenge for me.
Yeah. Now, can we talk a little bit about something that I think people who are fans of Terminator might have caught, but maybe folks who maybe this is the first time they're reading anything that has to do with Terminator?
Which is understandable. Yeah, it's been out of it hasn't been published. There hasn't been a Terminator book since 2011, I want to say, which was RoboCop, Terminator, Kill Human.
Yeah.
Also by Dynamite, by the way.
So, okay. So in this, there's a Terminator, and we see oftentimes in Terminator comics and even in the movies themselves, we have a chance to look through the eyes of the Terminator, which is often depicted by the red vision, right?
Yes.
So we see that in here.
We get to see it twice. Yeah.
Right. But one of them, it's there's no redundancies detected. And then the last panel of this 2 pages, there's a redundancy detected. And I think that's kind of a mic drop moment for you here.
It is a little bit. I didn't know it was because I didn't think about it at all. I was just kind of I'd written I think 7 pitches in total for this one story.
Yeah.
And so, as far as I was concerned, I'm just throwing out ideas and story ideas. And this one was one that I was well, we'll try this, how about that? And that's the one that they went with. But yeah, I'd never thought about the idea because we've seen Terminators fight before.
Right.
Obviously, it's the crux of Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Absolutely.
But one of the things we can't do is really refer to it because we're only really they're really licensing the first Terminator movie. So what can we do with that work? Well, thankfully, everything is already kind of laid for us, thanks to the first Terminator, setting up all the mythology. Really, you get to see the future, you get to see the inner workings of the Terminator, you get to see the CPU, everything. Everything is in there. But one of the things I didn't count on and was brought up to me thanks to just eagle-eyed viewers and or readers, I should say, who noticed that if it hasn't never been done, it's been done incredibly rarely where there are 2 of the same Terminator being sent through time.
Oh, are we getting a little hint here?
Yeah. I think well, certainly that's kind of the fun of the story is seeing one Terminator and then a fresher version of this of the same model Terminator being sent back.
Oh, okay.
So
all right. Well, I don't want you to give too much away.
Well, there's only 2 pages,
well,
so I don't want to give too much away. But obviously, in November you're going to get the second issue, which will have the following pages 3 and 4 out of 10, and you're good to go. But I'm excited about it. I'm really grateful again for the opportunity, and I'm excited to see what's next. I'm hoping that we can do more in the future, but fingers crossed about that. Right now I'm focused on just making sure that, well, honestly, I mean, I wrote it, and it's done. As far as my work, I just hope that more people check it out and enjoy it. But I hope that I did a decent enough job that holds people's attention. But thankfully I am paired with a fantastic artist. Colin Craker's work is just spectacular.
Yes.
When I wrote it, I was kind of this is a fun moment, but I didn't really think about it at all. But that second page, there's a moment where there's just a big kaboom, and I'm that's cool. This, and I didn't think about how cool it would be until I saw it, and I'm oh, that does look really cool. All right, especially the fact that you're only getting 2 pages at a time.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a really, really strong first showing for your IP or first professionally published.
It is. It's technically my first. Yeah, no technical about it. This is my first published work. Pretty much of any kind. I mean, I've outside of I've written for news outlets and stuff. But as far as fiction, like published fiction. This is it, folks.
Yeah.
I self-published quite a bit of fiction, but you'll never see that. But this one you can get at any local comic book store. That's the other thing.
And you absolutely should. You absolutely should. Before we go,
yes,
with this interview,
and let's really quick before we do, let's also shout out the entire creative team behind this thing, just to make sure that everybody gets their due. Jeff Eckelberry is doing the lettering, and Nate Cosby is the editor on this story.
Very nice.
Yes,
very
you were
nice.
saying?
So what is it about Terminator that attracts you to like the property, to the stories? Is it as simple as man versus machine? Is it man versus the inevitability of future or of progress? Like
right.
what is it about this?
I mean, there's so much about it that I love. Obviously, initially, it's just the coolness of the Terminator, but like the element of time travel, the element of the killer robot, the design of the Terminator, and moreover, just like how you can take such a like simple premise and then get anything out of it.
Absolutely.
Like Terminator 1 is like a love story.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay.
And so you could get that out of it. You could do pretty much anything with it. It's as versatile as like other franchises that are similar, like the Predator, where you could do pretty much anything.
Yes.
You could tell any story.
Yes.
But unlike its, other outside of its like, genre counterpart, the Predator, where it's like you can tell the same story in a million different settings. With Terminator, you could sell any story with the same premise.
Yes.
Like you could have the Terminator go back in time and it interrupts any number of things. And, you watch just the humanity kind of like pour out and dominate the story.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining me.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
I can't believe we got you on.
I know. It's very rare that I get a chance to do an in-person interview like this. But we want to thank you so much for checking it out. And I want to thank everybody who's been kind enough to leave a nice little comment about it, either on like a message board like League of Comic Geeks, or actually posting about it and getting it collected in those comic book roundup reviews. But so before we get back to the comics, let's take a break. We're going to be talking to Alex from Dynamite about more Terminator. Actually, it's a good segue to get into the Terminator. But yeah, we're going to be talking more about what is available for the folks who are watching the show right now. Thank you, Tiffany, for doing that. I appreciate it. Alex, man, thank you so much for being on. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on a second. I might have an issue with the audio here. Yeah, that's weird. I can't hear anything through my headphones. Hang on one second. Sorry, folks. If you're watching this after the fact, you will not be seeing it. I heard something. Yeah, that's me. Sorry. Yeah, no, I can't hear you, man. I don't think it's the headphones. Yeah, okay. No, it's not us. It's him.
Oh, okay. Okay. I dropped my popcorn.
So while Alex fixes this up, we'll get to it. But in the meantime,
hi, I'm back already. Wow, did you see Sal Crivelli?
Really, just
writer of Terminator, who popped into the studio. Incredible.
I know. I don't agree with him most of the time, but it was a good interview.
He's a good writer, and I can't literally cannot wait.
Yeah.
For the next one.
All right. So up now. Let's see if that worked better. Let's find out.
I'm not gonna leave.
No. You stay here until
I'm away.
Hello, I'm here now.
Go. How are you, man? Welcome back to the show.
There we go. Sorry about that. We have audio now. We're here.
We could do it. Yeah, that's right. So
Skynet.
Hey, Skynet. We got hacked.
Always Skynet.
It is. So, Alex, before we get into things, why don't you let the folks at home know who you are and what we're doing here today?
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm here with Dynamite and Dynamic Forces. I sell for them. You can see me on the live shows. We're on The Experience. We do different pop-up live shows. You can catch me on Instagram Live on Dynamic Forces account every Tuesday night as we try to build up the new Instagram. So, but yeah, I try to be the face, and yeah, here I am.
I love it, man. Yeah, I've hopped into a couple of those live streams, and it's a well-oiled machine over there. I'm glad to see that, and I really appreciate you extending that over here with us today.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and we like selling comics. I love comic books. I like selling comics. It's just, giving back to the community is one of my favorite things to do. Literally,
Absolutely.
if you know me, you know that's absolutely true.
Yeah. So what do we so let's talk about what we're doing here today. About we were obviously focusing a little bit on Terminator. Terminator has some amazing covers that have been dropped. I actually got a chance, thankfully, to sign a couple of them while
Oh,
over at
yeah.
Zap Comics, which was really nice. But yeah, a bunch of different covers for Terminator dropped, and they're all like really fun, have their own kind of identity, and
How's it feel to be a writer?
it feels fantastic, man. It's surreal and incredible. Just a fantastic. Sometimes it sinks in, and other times I forget. Not like I forget that I did it, but more I forget like that it's that it's real.
I like to ask people, when's the CGC signing?
Right? Yeah. When I get a call, I guess I haven't. I don't know how that works at all. Like I don't really touch it, so I'm not too keyed.
We can talk
into
after, but it's really simple, and having one that says your name right there with a yellow label will look great.
That would be honestly my first CGC book that I'd ever owned. So there'd be something kind of fun and full circle about it.
So issue 1 came out last week.
Yep.
And I don't know if you showed the covers, but let me just talk about all the covers. I can show them all off.
Yeah, let's do it.
And just go from there. So I'm only going to show off right now the regular open order covers, the covers that you can go to your store and say, I want as many as I want for these. We're not going to show off any incentives or exclusives.
Okay.
The incentives are technically retail exclusive. So if you want incentives, go to your local comic book store. They can order them. If they don't have them, we want to support our local retailers always. So
absolutely.
Let's start though. First of all, the Terminator #1 from Declan Shalvey and Luke Sparrow. So it's awesome. It was a great read, a great start. And this is Declan's cover himself. Look at the beautiful cover, the Terminator head within the skulls. And so remember this image because we'll get back to this, but I'm really excited for something. So, this is the regular cover A, Declan Shalvey. So we also have Edwin Gallman's cover, and this is just a really cool perspective visuals. This is actually on the runner-up of the Hot 10 list last week. The cover of the week list last week, the hot covers. This is Edwin Gallman, and it's just a really cool burning forest Terminator. I mean, you'll see the Terminator in the burning forest. Where else were you going to go?
I know, right?
There's no escape.
Yeah, we've never actually seen that visual before. So, and that's one of the things I love about like kind of if you're going to mix it up a little bit with the variant covers, is giving you something that like hopefully you've either never seen before or you've always wanted to see. And that's
and true. You'll see because this is by Sway, cover C, and it's him just in a jungle. Almost.
Yeah. I got to sign that one. I was very excited about it. I was like, oh man, I just ruined this book for somebody.
But we have all these cool things. This one is underwater. There's no hiding in burning fire or underwater. You can't escape the Terminator.
Yeah. That one is what is it? David
Cousins.
David Cousins. I love that cover. I remember that's like the second variant. That's like the first variant, right? Like that's like the cover D.
That's covered. That's D. Cover gotcha. D. But this is what we do. We have multiple covers to showcase all the great artists that we have, and from there we do different variations of those for incentives. So if you like this as a virgin cover, that's going to be a 1 in 30 from your local comic book store. So there's different variations and everything. But what's super exciting is that because we have basically the Now Comics rights, and Dark Horse. We're is single issue. So Alex Ross debuted his comic book professional career with Burning Earth.
Yeah.
And he had 3 great covers. With that, he was actually asked to do a 4th cover for the trade paperback. So that cover has never been reprinted in a single issue until now.
Nice.
So this is the Alex Ross modern icon, and it's just super cool to be able to have an Alex Ross cover on Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
So this is cover price, just like all the other covers. So if you want the Alex Ross, it's here. It's beautiful.
Yep.
So one of the cool things that we do is we offer foils. So we've got 2 really cool foils to talk about. and it is Declan Shalvey's. And having this book in foil is just beautiful. I mean,
look at that.
Look how shiny it is.
Yeah, I love that.
So this is the regular foil and the virgin foil, so you can enjoy the artwork with or without the trade dress, however you want. So there also are in foils for the Alex Ross Burning Earth as well. Those are incentives, but they are available. We also have the one limited Declan Shalvey regular version.
Yeah.
So these are limited versions. These usually, while they are open order, they usually have a print run of around 100. Like these have low print runs, and they're beautiful, beautiful books. So in addition to that, what would a Dynamite #1 be without a blank?
Yes,
of course.
Yeah, we call them sketch covers occasionally too. A blank for you to bring around, and New York Comic Con's right on the corner. You might want to grab one of these. I should go grab one of those.
This is Terminator.
Yeah.
We've got choices.
Oh, that's kind of fun. Yeah, I love that.
And as a very special, not all the time, but every so often, we do a very special blank. So I'm excited to show this off. We have the Terminator Silver blank. It's multi-tone gray, and it looks beautiful for Terminator.
Yeah. That's a really fun idea. I'd never thought of that. The idea of doing not just a regular sketch cover, but also like just the stark black cover or even the gradient cover. That's a really smart
we like doing themed. So for Powerpuff Girls, we had a green, blue, and red blank. It makes of course the white blank too, but
of course
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Here are the ones I'm super excited about. So I'm in charge of the Dynamite.com website exclusive program. And I pick things that I want specifically for the website. And when I saw the Alex Ross cover, I was like, we have to do a metal version of that. Now, it's in production still because the book has to be printed and then the metal cover added. But it's going to be this. So there are only 100 copies total. And this is Terminator #1, Alex Ross, exclusive metal cover. This is going to be awesome. I am really, really excited to have an Alex Ross medal because it's going to be the first, I believe, Alex Ross medal we've ever offered.
Oh, really?
But the next one is the one I am most excited about because when I was told we had the option to do this and we were doing Terminator, I was like, this is happening. No matter what I have to do, this is happening. So I'm super excited to announce the debut of, for the first time ever, Dynamite will be doing an embossed metal.
Oh my God.
Declan Shalvey's cover. Now, this is a prototype, but you can see what it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
The skull is embossed. It looks beautiful. It stands out on the cover. This is going to be limited to 84 copies total.
Wow.
This is the Declan Shalvey embossed metal, Dynamite.com exclusive. So I can't wait to have these in hand next week. It's going to be awesome.
Fantastic, man. That's gorgeous.
So, to keep the Terminator hype going, FOC this week is for Terminator #2. So if you haven't seen these awesome covers, well, don't worry. I've got you covered.
Oh,
we had Declan Shalvey's cover. And this is just like any action movie. Even robots don't look at explosions. So this is Declan Shalvey's. This is cover A, and the Virgin is cover H.
Nice.
Now, one of the cool things we like to do also is we always appreciate the actual art and the line art of our artists doing the covers. So when we have a line art cover, it's beautiful because you get to see Declan Shalvey's pencils and his inks before they're colored. And the coloration looks great, but having a black and white image truly gets you appreciate the intricacies of the art.
Definitely.
We also have the David Cousins cover. More different environments.
Yep.
And I like David Cousins' Terminator. It feels more gritty.
Yeah, me too.
This next one reminds me of The Matrix. This is the Drew Moss cover.
Oh, yes.
This one is so cool.
That is gorgeous, man.
And as a finale, just announced, we're doing a special Bob Layton cover. And here is the final cover.
Wow.
So having Bob Layton do some of our covers is just really, really cool and really special to have him do some of these.
That's awesome. I wrote some of this. I didn't know Bob Layton did a cover. That's awesome.
I mean, Bob Layton, known for Iron Man. How about another iron metallic person?
Oh, seriously. No, that's awesome.
So if you liked any of those Terminator #2 covers, go to your local comic book store today. Give them a call. This week is FOC. So you want to make sure you get your orders in before FOC because you're basically pre-ordering the book.
Yes.
Hopefully, if you're after FOC, your store will still have some in stock on the shelves. But if you know you want it, basically they can pre-order you a copy, so they have enough for everyone else that wants a copy.
Exactly.
And again, that is Terminator #2.
#2. That's right, from Dynamite Entertainment, folks. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see these covers out in the wild and available for purchase, and I'm excited to be in any way associated with them because they're all just really super cool, and of course they reflect like what's going on in the main story as well. I've seen some art for issue 3, and holy crap, that's gonna be awesome.
With New York Comic Con launching this week,
yes,
there are going to be a ton of exclusive covers. I mean, I've seen them. They look beautiful. I don't want to show them off because I don't want to really give anyone a bump that, I want to keep an even playing ground. But when you get your copy of Terminator, make sure you go to the back for the cover gallery.
Oh,
yeah. Just show everything. And there is just the art. It's all about the art. And of course the story, but seeing all these beautiful covers, don't miss out on what you want. And there's going to be some great drops in New York Comic Con. I
agree, man. I agree.
Speaking of New York Comic Con, did you hear the news today?
I sure did. I may have gotten an inside track on the news today. Do we want to talk about the 5 announcements that are out there?
We do. Let's do it a little bit quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on one because there's so much going on this week.
Totally.
That we don't want to hog anything, but it's definitely a week for comic book news.
Yes.
So we're gonna start off with the big one. And everyone's been asking us for this since we announced Thundercats. I am so excited to announce for the first time in 30 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Silverhawks. That's right. Silverhawks is back in comic book form from Ed Brisson and George Combadias.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the covers already. Lucio Perillo, Jay Lee, James DeCoe, Declan Shalvey, Geraldo Borges, Mannix has a cover. I mean, this is going Geraldo Borges. There you go. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Nick. So, I mean, this is going to be exciting. Silverhawks.
I know. For those of you who don't know, I mean, not only did Silverhawks exist as its own kind of like really fun animated series, but there's I wouldn't even go so far as to say fan theory. I think it is kind of like we've never seen it before, but Silverhawks takes place within the same universe as the Thundercats. So
the production company Rankin Bass, it's the same production company.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's been officially confirmed.
No, there's no official confirmation.
But it's more or less understood that you've got, Thundercats, Silverhawks, and there may be not some other properties as well in that. But we're just super excited for Silverhawks because it's such a fun series, and being able to add new basically to the fandom when there really hasn't been anything in 3 decades is really great.
Absolutely. And you guys aren't any strangers to doing that already with Thundercats, since we saw the debut of a brand new character that's never been introduced to the Thundercats lore as well.
Yes. Now with Thundercats, though, there were other adaptations.
Oh, of course.
Thundercats Roar of a 2011 series. Silverhawks hasn't had anything.
Oh, we've had nothing. Yeah, no, it's just been you only have the animated series really to go from. So this is going to be the first time.
So I'm in the fan communities trying to build it back up because it's time for some Silverhawks. So,
awesome.
I'm going to jump right to the second series that was announced because this one is just as big. Zootopia. That's right. Zootopia, obviously set in the animated Disney movie universe. Zootopia from Jeff Parker and Alessandro Rinaldi. This is going to be great. Judy Hopps, Nick. It's Nick the Fox. It's awesome. So
Yeah, and you guys have done
Zootopia
a
fan.
number of Disney properties as well. So Zootopia being in this
Yeah.
is a great idea too.
And obviously, this is the first comic book ever for Zootopia.
Yep.
So this is very exciting. Covers are by Trish Forstner, Alessandro Rinaldi. There's a Craig Russo negative space, and there's going to be some animated art, some screen art. So there's a cover with Judy and Nick from, and it's just, as someone that I mean, I like photo covers when they're when they work, and just having a number one, having the main characters in photo cover, animated,
Exactly.
it's perfect. So
Yeah.
definitely it's a cool property that doesn't see a lot of there's not a lot of new content for it. There is another movie coming at some point, but there's no TV show. We just had that one movie, so it's going to be exciting that we get to live in this universe some more.
And great to have another all ages book out there for anybody who might be looking for something for their kids or for nephew.
Absolutely. Zoozies, as they're apparently called.
Zoozies, I see.
So the next announcement is pretty cool. People have been waiting for this. Thundercats.
Yeah.
Big third arc. We've been waiting for it. Issue number 11 starts off the next arc. Lion-O versus Mum-Ra. That's right.
Yeah, we've been building towards it forever. But this is a really great, I love the idea of teasing it, being like, this is what's going to happen in the next arc, and it's going to be.
Oh yeah, and especially with the introduction of a brand new character named Apex.
Yes.
Whoever that character may be.
Right.
But they definitely have a role to play in the story, and it's pretty cool that we're being teased and we're getting all this. We had 10 issues and the ball is rolling. So
yeah,
look at that cover. I mean, that's and I don't think it's obvious who's going to win, because I think there's a lot of story to tell. And so I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what's going to happen. I am legitimately excited to read this because it's been really, really fun. I used to sell vintage toys, and I've learned more about Thundercats now than when I sold the LJN figures. So actually having a story to read, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. So
totally.
That is Thundercats issue number 11. Right. And to go with that, the one-shot 40-page Thundercats Apex, also written by Ed Brisson, releases, I believe, in December.
Yeah, that's great. But that's not all. There's we got at least two more announcements to make, right?
Two more. So this next one should be a great image for you guys.
Oh yeah.
This is Stray Dogs plushes. That's right. We are super excited to announce that we are working with Trish Forstner and Tony Fleeks to be able to offer both Stray Dogs plushes and feral exclusives. We just announced this today, so there is so much more information to be revealed. That's all we can talk about so far, that there will be plushes. But if you like dogs, if you like Stray Dogs, if you like the comic book series, and it's a horror series, if you guys don't know, basically dogs that have bunch of dogs in a house and they don't know what their owner does, and it's kind of a horror mystery.
Oh yeah, no, it's Tony Fleish's magnum opus that I believe now there's Stray is the kind of spin-off series, but really really iconic new designs, or really fun animation forward designs for these characters, and very fan favorite series that
Feral, same thing but with cats,
right? Exactly.
Cats. I mean, it's literally called Feral. So I mean, it's really fun, really cool. And so we are excited to be able to announce plushes and more exciting for this.
Yeah, that's right. If you're not familiar, folks, this is a fantastic series that you can absolutely It is not for children, despite the art suggesting as much, but it is dark, but it also
it's dark, but it's a really easy read.
Oh, absolutely.
Visually, I mean, it's Trish and Tony. I mean, visually, they have a very easy way. It's very cartoony, but it's dark cartoony, and it's got a real easy flow to it. And you're not going to be you're not gonna be overwhelmed. It
No,
flows
if you
very,
were,
very
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, if you were raised on like you know, The Brave Little Toaster or any other animated series or movies that seemed a little bit more adult, this will be right up your alley. You're going to be completely easy to jump into it. But yeah, as far as the designs and the you know, just the entire visual aesthetic of Stray Dogs lends itself perfectly to plushes, and you know, plushes are a fantastic gift. If you know somebody, I know at least 2 other people who are like huge Stray Dogs fans, and knowing that there are plushes available for them is going to be like, oh, well, that's now I know what to get them like, immediately.
And you know what? Even if they don't read the comic, it's still a beautiful dog plush. You
That's
know.
true. Yeah, yeah, and it could be a great gateway. Like, look at this. Oh, I love that character. He's so cute. Well, guess what? There's an entire series starring them right there.
Absolutely. So it's Stray Dogs,
Yep.
Stray Dog Days, which is the first spinoff, and Feral, which is kind of like the Thundercats, Silverhawks.
Yep.
Is it set in the same universe? We don't know, but it's Fleeks and Forstner, so most likely yes.
Precisely.
So the last announcement is pretty cool and very unique. So Sweetie Candy Vigilante Volume 2 will be ending with issue number 6. And this is pretty crazy. For the first time in 30 years, we are super excited to announce the Flaming Carrot
Oh my
is
God.
back. That's right. Bob Burden, the creator of the Flaming Carrot, is doing a Flaming Carrot variant cover for Sweetie Candy Vigilante. In addition, he does affect the story too. That's right.
Awesome.
Bob Burden doing a Flaming Carrot. This is the first major crossover for the character since he teamed up with Turtles in the late 80s or early 90s in 30 years.
Wow.
So it's a little bit something different, but it's very cool, very exciting. Bob Burden is great. So this is just very cool to talk about this.
Yeah. Oh man, I haven't heard of the Flaming Carrot in so long. That's such funny. It's like I read this thing and I was like, what? That's awesome.
So there was one more thing I do want to mention that if I don't,
Right.
I would be remiss.
Totally.
Dynamite is super excited that we are offering Transformers 40th anniversary trading cards. That's right. We have the license for trading cards. We're making these trading cards. It's going to be so exciting. I helped put this. I helped put the set together, and it's just one of the just like toys. I've learned more about Transformers now than I did selling G1 Optimuses. But it's the coolest thing. So there hasn't been a true Transformers card set in a very long time. So we've got both the collector's set, which has foil packs, a hobby box, blaster boxes, 110 base card set. And we also have a special deluxe ultra premium set that are basically, it's a mini box, and each mini box contains 1 pack of 7 cards. And those are just the high-end stuff, the hits, the chase cards. It has its own separate 18 card set. But this is super duper exciting to talk about because not only are these cards going to be available at comic book store, card stores, retailer stores, Diamond Previews, but we have a Kickstarter going on right now for these cards, which allow you the fans, to not only get the cards directly, but you can get extra goodies, exclusive, all this fun stuff. And if for any reason you don't have a card shop near you or a way to get these cards, you can get them through the Kickstarter. So that is Transformers 40th anniversary trading card set. I'm super excited for you guys to see this stuff. It should be launching in the next couple months. So don't miss out on those.
No, we plugged the Kickstarter not too long ago, and I'm happy to see just how successful it was. And it was a great idea. Okay.
An image. Here's for the promo cards that were released at San Diego Comic-Con. And you can see Starscream, Megatron, Bumblebee, and Optimus. But it's more than just meets the eye, because you've got the regular art, you've got like verses, you've got comic book art, and there's no G1 without the toys. Yep. That's what it is. It's toys. So there's toy art cards too. So
that's great.
Transformers 40th anniversary card set. Can't wait.
That's great. That's awesome, man. Well, Alex, thank you so much for being here and giving us an insight into this whole plan you've got going on. Are you guys going to be talking about anything at New York Comic Con, or should we keep an eye out?
So we had our first round of announcements today. We had those 5 major announcements. I'm not 100% sure if there's anything else left.
I mean, I feel like that's funny. That's plenty, right?
If there is, it'll obviously we will talk about it and stuff. But right now, we want to start the week off with those big news, so you guys have them in your head. So you can go into Comic-Con knowing about that, looking it up. Go to your favorite artist. Hey, I just heard, there's going to be a Silverhawk series. Do you have any, will you be doing a cover? Your own variant. So
yeah.
Keep in mind that there's so much fun stuff, and there's so much more stuff coming that I don't know when it's going to be announced. If it's New York Comic-Con announcements, but these new Disney Warner Brothers partnerships are amazing and awesome. And hopefully there's more titles coming up. I mean, like I said, our San Diego announcements, we talked about Captain Planet, Ben 10, Thundar the Barbarian, Herculoids. So there's just so much more fun stuff. But I believe right now we have those 5 for New York, and we'll see what more is to come of anything.
Awesome, man. Well, Alex, thanks so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to give us those announcements, and I look forward to seeing more of that. I'm gonna be picking up a copy of that couple of those blank sketch covers and bringing them to Comic-Con myself.
Well, it's very exciting. It's wonderful being here, and hopefully, I'll be back.
Well done, Alex. Thank you so much, man.
Guys,
and there you have it, everybody. Thank you so much to Dynamite for that experience, and of course, thank you, Tiffany, for coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I just did? Had
What's
nothing
that?
to do with comics, even though literally we have a library of comics.
We sure do.
I booted up my old Wii.
You fixed it?
I went back to the Pokemon Ranch. Anyone remember that? Haley was like, "Hey, it's been 10 years." I'm like,
wow.
She's like, "Your Pokemon missed you." I'm like, Don't
tell me that.
Me. Don't emotionally blackmail me, Haley. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh, that's amazing.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
So yeah, we can get back into the comics, folks. I want to thank everybody I want to thank Alex from Dynamite for doing that and for giving us that promo and everything. And we will get into it. So there's also a little bit of a I figure we do that giveaway.
Our giveaway?
Yeah, I'm just gonna give away a copy of Terminator #1.
Just one?
Yeah, I think just one. I don't have too many.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you know what?
Do you want to give away this one that I manhandled?
No, because that's the first one I ever bought.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna not manhandle that so much.
So I'm gonna hang on to that one, but we have a couple more in a pile somewhere, if that's okay with you.
Yes. You want me to get one?
No. It will take my word for it. It looks like that one.
This one away right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so
it's a blast. See everybody. Yes.
So before we're gonna move into the comics again, but before we do, so I guess just put in the chat if you want to participate. There's gonna be a couple things I need you to do. Now, the first one is you need to be able to live in the continental United States, and you also need to be reachable.
Yeah.
And you have to stick around because we're going to announce the winner at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So stick around for the show.
These are copies that I was like, we were at Zap. I was like, I literally, there was like a part of me that was like, I will just buy all of them. And then I was like, I should leave some so that other people can purchase them.
Yeah.
So, this is one that we grabbed because I was like, let's do a giveaway.
Yeah.
Let's do a giveaway.
I'm glad. How many did we get? We bought like 4, right?
Where are they?
I don't know. They should be over there. I don't know. I don't even know if they're even in the studio. I think they might be at home, but they're in a. Yeah, we brought 5 or 6. Someone asked if Tiffany will sign it. But yeah.
I think they're at home.
All right, yeah, they're at home. But they look exactly like this one.
They do and they don't because I got one.
You got a couple. I
got one variant cover too.
Oh, which one did you get?
I got one of the shiny ones.
Oh, you got the shiny ones. Nice.
But with words on it, not the
Virgin variant.
Yeah.
I gotta
grab. We're gonna do one of these. And Sal will sign it.
Yeah.
Or else.
All right. So feel free to in the chat if you are happy to stick around. We're gonna make those announcements. And by the way, you need to sound off in the chat when we make those.
Yeah.
When we announce who the winner is.
Yeah.
But
how does everybody know?
All they have to do is type #Terminator. I think that's the way.
There you go. Do #Terminator. We'll see. Our moderator's going to grab all of that. Then we're going to talk about our other book that we're going to talk about.
Yep.
And then we'll pull our winner at the end of that.
That's right.
So
Now, Danielle is going to,
to,
when you put hashtag Terminator into the chat, our moderator Danielle is going to actually have like a thing set up that pulls all those, all of you into a special like randomizer that selects a winner.
Mhm.
All right.
It's pretty. We might want to do 2.
Yeah, we'll do 2. Fuck.
Okay.
All right, we'll do 2.
We're gonna do 2. Oh, I've never picked my popcorn up off the ground.
I know.
That's how we get in.
But now there's more than one piece because you stepped on it.
I didn't just step on it. I did a little tap dance on
Oh,
it because
great.
I was so excited.
Well, I'm excited too, and I appreciate your enthusiasm. But yeah. So really quick before we get into the other thing, I read Amazing Spider-Man 59. Every once in a while, I'll just like check in on this book from Zeb Wells with art by John Romita Jr. It seemed like they were kind of like doing a thing the last couple of issues, and they still are.
Oh, I said our last book. There's 2 books.
Well, I just figure what the hell.
I'm a liar.
This is a fight. It is a fight scene. The entire book. There's no B plot. The whole thing. It's just Spider-Man fighting Tombstone. The entire book. It is brutal. It is visceral. I think that Jazzy John Romita Jr. is doing, a lot of really good work.
Okay, wait. Do you mean a lot of good work if you're a fan of Romita, or do you mean
if you like him? If
Got
you,
it.
I mean, look, I feel like that goes without saying at this point.
I don't know about that because I think some people might be like, no, like it's actually getting like it's better, or it's this, or it's that. No, you mean like if you're a fan of
if
him,
you love John Romita Jr.
okay,
and you think that he is really great at action sequences, then you will love this.
Okay,
and so that's it, and that's what this book is. It is just, a fight scene between Spider-Man and Tombstone. But what's interesting is there's actually a moment where the where we kind of like understand why he's doing this.
Okay.
But the I don't know. It's tough because like the Zed Wells run has been weird.
Yeah.
And this book in particular is very, very interesting because this issue is interesting because, it's just a big boring fight scene, but there's a reason for it.
Okay.
And he still manages to retain his Peter Parker-ness.
Okay.
And so there are these flashes where you're like, I get why Zeb got the job.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's something to be pointed out. Like, that's all. When I read it, I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Okay.
But, it does read in about 3 minutes.
Okay. That's
and
fast.
The cover is awful.
Wow. Okay. Can we flash that back up? No, for real. Can we flash that back up?
Yeah.
That's really funny. I disagree.
Okay.
I think this is a really good cover.
Okay. All right. State your case.
Here is my case. I mean, I don't want to look at Tombstone, but that's not his fault.
No, yeah.
That's not Romita's fault.
No, absolutely not. That's just what he looks like.
The reason I love this is this cover, based on what you're telling me, is actually advertising what's going on in this book.
Oh, this book is the cover. The cover is the book. 100%.
I think the glass and the lines that create the glass are really, really well done because the glass also harkens to spider webs.
Absolutely, it does.
I love the action of the glass. You don't often see a lot of covers that go horizontal quite like that, even though it's such a vertical space.
That's true.
And I really think that the translucentness of the glass really comes across.
That's fair.
I actually really, really like it. I also love how like hyper detailed the foreground is and how like low detailed the background is.
Yeah.
What's your
I think it's I've seen Romita Jr.'s defenstration before, and I don't buy that. Like, I think he went. I obviously the webbing is definitely implicit. Like, you want to get the webbing angle on this, and we've seen like Patrick Gleason doing a lot of webbing variants for the Amazing Spider-Man title over the last couple of years, and I feel like this is trying to do that a little bit. Where it's like, oh, broken glass kind of looks like webs. Let's see if I can. And like, I do get it.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's trying too hard to be the webbing. Like, you're losing glass out of this.
I don't think so, because it strikes me more or less a safety glass, which is actually more impressive that they've gone through it. Then that's actually scary.
Of course, yeah, no, but I think that's lost in translation. I think that is getting lost in translation.
All right. But again, this is art, and that's
true.
This is what you're supposed to be doing with art.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be having dialogues and conversations, but you're not always going to agree, and that's okay.
Exactly. I also don't like the dialogue on it.
Sure, but that's a personal.
That's just a personal preference
for
for me. I'm just like
sure.
I'm like lose the words.
I actually what I adore though is that the title of the book takes a back seat a little bit.
It does, yeah.
Because of the coloration on it. Like your focus is Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like it's weird. It's one of those instances where it's like, show an apple, have the word apple. It's
yes.
like, I see Spider-Man. I know it's Spider-Man.
Right. It doesn't. I don't need the title necessarily.
Yeah.
Though I'm not. I think it seems like it almost seems accidental that the logo is the same color as the glass.
Yeah.
But again, I think they want to like mesh it in there, but they also don't want to like. They don't want to blend it into the art.
No, this is like one of those where I'm just like, we've seen a lot of JR covers based on Spider-Man as of late. Flashback, and some of them you love, and some of them like,
that's right.
That is not for me.
That's right.
This one, for some reason, this really speaks to me, and I don't know if it's just because of the motion involved. I don't know if it's like the color theory involved, because it's like, we have like red pushes forward, blue falls back, right? Yet he's using like the blue of the windows, and that's pushing forward with the city. I don't know. There's just like a lot going on that I'm like, this is very striking to me. It strikes me.
For me, it's funny.
I am struck.
I'm glad it struck you. I when I saw it, I was like, oh, look at you doing something. Like I was like, this is intentional. This is not one of those like, oh, it's another character shrouded in shadow in the rain.
Sure.
It's like I get it.
Okay.
I was just kind of like, but everyone in the cover is hideous, and the glass is.
Spidey isn't.
Yeah, well, it's not his best Spider-Man.
It's like, well, I mean, they're having a fight, like, and I kind of appreciate that. Like, this is not heroic. The whole bike is necessarily.
But that's kind of like how our superheroes look heroic is in the fight. But in these cases, in this book, it is all about Spider-Man getting the shit kicked out of him by Tombstone, like in every issue that Tombstone appears in that Zeb Wells has written.
Yeah.
But like he does this thing, and it's not on the cover, thank God, but like where his mask is all bloody because his mouth is bleeding, and like it's just
how could you tell it's red?
That's the problem, is that like no one draws his mouth being soaked with blood and blasting out of it because it looks weird. And because it would never happen. Ha ha ha. But yeah. So, but the book, by the way, if you just want to look at like a Spider-Man book where Spider-Man fights Tombstone, like for 22 pages, you're going to get this issue. And it's very light on dialogue, very light on character, and until the last 2 pages. And you're like, oh, okay, that's nice. Good for you. Anyway, Absolute Batman #1 came out from Scott Snyder.
I wouldn't even have known because Terminator 1 came out.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, this was on the shelf the same day. And before we actually, I'm gonna kick this can down the road one more time to say that obviously Batman #1 was the #1 book of the week. But according to Bleeding Cool,
you're in the top 10 for sales.
Yeah, that's right. Terminator #1 was
like
actually number 7. Our book was no.
I didn't mean to take your thunder.
No. It was it's taken. That's fine. I'm glad to give it. But Terminator #1 was number 7 according to Bleeding Cool's like polling of retailers, which includes I think 125 different comic book stores, which is a sample size, but still it's really cool. But yeah, I was like, wow, my name is on a book that like cracked the top 7 of the week, and of course it's Terminator, so like it should be. But yeah, I think that is crazy. I think it's incredible, and I think like if it is in any way due to if I am involved with that, it has everything to do with you.
I would say
I'd say it.
Regardless
I want to give
of any of that. Thank you to everyone in our sphere,
yes,
in our community.
The population pre-ordered the book.
Yeah,
the population bought the book. Thank you.
Who helped to get it?
And they helped push it. I think you guys really moved the needle. I really, really do. So I want to thank the audience for their incredible support. And I want to be very transparent about this. I did not create this channel to do that.
Nope.
I am not. This show where we review comics is not my way of climbing onto the shoulders of greatness so that I can try and like, just get a drop of rain into my gullet. I want to talk about comics and have fun with my wife and friends. And also this happened. And I would be a dumbass for not telling you folks about it, but it's entirely up to you whether you want to support me and this or not. You don't have to pick one or the other.
Yeah. Like if you're like,
but if you did,
like Terminator's not for me,
totally
that doesn't
get
mean
it.
You're not a fan of the channel.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Exactly. And you're not hurting me by not getting it.
Yeah.
But I also just wanted to say, like, thank you to those of you who did help to put it into that bracket, because that is something to be celebrated. And I do appreciate it. And I want to thank the incredible team that worked on that book. Obviously it's our show. I'll be like, yay, me. But
Yay, Sal!
yeah, but Declan Shalvey, Luke Sparrow, Colin Craker, and the entire rest of the team made a great book that I'm proud to have my name on and lucky to be counted among. So thank you to everybody.
And thanks to everybody who maybe for the first time pre-ordered a book
for
this. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And thanks to anybody who's never read a Terminator book before and this is your
give
first
it a shot.
try. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Absolute Batman #1 from
Go
Nick
Sexy
Dragotta
Sal
and
the
Scott
comic
Snyder.
writer.
Thank you very much. The first book. Now, here's what's so weird about this book is how brand new and modern it is and has the old DC logo on it.
Oh, yeah. I get you.
It feels really weird. I am also thrilled to see it, but it feels so weird.
It does and it doesn't. Can I gripe about something?
Sure.
Can I gripe?
Why not?
Can I gripe?
Yeah.
Real quick. Real quick. Just really little gripe about this logo and the logo next to it for no reason at all. Moving the logo to the right side, the DC logo to the right side, my brain it's so much more obvious with Batman standing center that the Batman logo is not centered.
No, yeah.
As opposed to the DC logo being on the left-hand side where like I'm naturally like used to seeing it there.
Yes.
And like literally it's breaking my brain a little bit.
I kind of love it over there, and I kind of hope that the Absolute line keeps everything on the right.
Okay.
Just to distinguish
Why
it.
must you vex me?
I also think that the all-in titling looks good.
Yep.
As part of the corner box.
I agree.
Aesthetic.
I definitely agree, and I assume we might see some of that going forward, but their titles are going to be short.
Oh yeah, no,
there's only 5
they're going
letters.
to have to think about that. Yeah. But I love this, and I love the cover, and I actually really like the Absolute Batman lettering for the logo. Yeah. I don't like the Absolute font, but that's and it's a holdover clearly from Absolute Power.
Yeah,
which I don't like.
I know.
It's just it's a shame.
And that's okay.
But I like the name Absolute Batman. Not that he calls himself that, but
I am the Absolute Batman.
I mean, he is an absolute unit. We'll put it that way. But yeah. So yeah, this introduces you to the Absolute Bruce Wayne in the Absolute universe that I guess Darkseid helped create. But don't think about that. Like, and the reality is, like, this book, Wonder Woman, Superman, those books are for you. If you are like your counterparts in 2011 were when the New 52 happened. And they were like, I want to read Batman, but I don't want to deal with all that crap. Or I want to read Flash, but I don't want to deal with any of that stuff that happened before I was born. That's for you. This is for you. And hopefully you love it enough that when this all culminates into a big ass crisis or something, you're still on board. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay,
an absolute crisis.
Did we trick you into basically like jumping onto the Ultimate Universe only for you to get embroiled in a crisis afterwards and have to introduce yourself to like everybody from the DC universe across the multiverse? Yes, I've got like 2 or 3 years to not make you not mad at me. Like, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, what was your? I've read this book.
Yeah, I know.
I read this book a while ago. I reread it today just to kind of like refamiliarize myself with it, so so you wouldn't say something and I would go, "What? Did that happen?" But what were your thoughts? Because I somehow managed to keep this away from you. Until
literally, yeah, and I kind of appreciate it because it meant that there was no chance I gave away anything accidentally.
True. I think that was part of the reason why we kept that.
It's
so
completely
quiet.
fair, and it has nothing to do with me wanting to spoil things for people. It's more like I'm like, wait, do we know this yet? Does everybody know this yet? What? Yeah, it's just for the best. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this had a really strong start and a really great middle, and that ending I could have done without.
The epilogue, you mean?
Yeah, the epilogue.
I mean, really, that was...
The ending was fine. The epilogue, I was like, please no.
The epilogue belonged in another issue.
The epilogue, I just didn't...
It should have been another issue.
I know you have to do it.
You don't. This is the one time you don't have to do that.
I know. I know that, and you know that.
Yeah, but they should know it more than us.
But I think they're like, but they can't help themselves, right? Like, you can't help, like, they can't help themselves, not. Right? Like, it's just, there's this desire to have it right now.
Yeah.
Like, why wait now?
Yeah. Well,
which is so funny because there's so much decompression that people like talk about within books where it's just like, yeah, we're going to wait, we're going to hum and haw and like whatever. But with this, they're like, nah, let's just here it is. And I'm like, it would have been kind of fun to wonder about that.
Yes, it would have been kind of fun to wonder about that. But instead, here's literally everything.
Yeah.
And I you know what it is? Because we've talked to Scott like in private and in convention settings.
I mean, you have.
He's so excited about this.
Yeah.
And you know that when Scott is excited about something, he spoils the shit out of it. I think he couldn't help it, and he spoiled the shit out of his own universe with this one issue where he's like, oh, and here's Waylon, and here's like Selena, and yeah, it's all part of it, and here's the other. It's just like, here's everything.
I guess, I don't know. It struck me as like that section of it struck me as like a reminder that it's like you don't actually know where this is going, so you don't really know where these characters
Right, but
are
then don't
going to
tell me where
end
it's
up.
going.
Well, I didn't see it as them telling me where it was going. I was like, oh, these actually might be allies. Like, they
True.
might end up being, we might go that route, or
Yeah.
there might not be any of it, right?
Yeah.
But that epilogue, I was like, okay.
I didn't like the epilogue when I first read it.
Did you like it this time?
I liked it better this time because I was like, because I kind of understood a little bit better about what we're doing. Like, because, you know, it's in the DC All In special, you know, they're like, oh, he doesn't have his advantages, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And in this one, you really see like, oh, this is a Batman who is truly not from the same origins.
Yeah, no, it's really rather brilliantly done in that way, because I can't imagine, I mean, but maybe you as a comic book writer can shed some light on it, that you have a writer like Snyder who is so steeped in the Batman mythos, who has written like famed and less famed
still best-selling,
yeah, but like, you know what I mean, like folks love Court of Owls, people didn't love Gordon Batman.
Super heavy.
I loved it.
I know.
But you know, he knows Batman, he loves history. We get history in this too, can't help himself. But to go like, I know this, now I have to break this.
Yeah.
It's like, I can imagine it's really hard to convince your brain that it's okay to do that.
Well, thankfully, because of, I think, the big break that Scott took from like death metal to now, you know, doing so many different genres and trying everything out, you know, from Nocterra to Clear to the Dark Spaces universe, like there's so much different stuff that he's tried out.
Yeah. He
doesn't have to try it out on Batman. This is the best version of Absolute Batman that Scott Snyder could produce. Right. Because he doesn't need to, he only needs to tell his definitive Batman story in this universe. He doesn't have to try like, oh, I got to say something about AI or augmented reality or dystopia or blah, blah, blah. He could still maybe like dabble in that, but he got a lot of these ideas out of his system. And so we're seeing like Scott's unbridled, like, you know, vision for Batman, for this Batman, not whatever that Prime Earth Batman is.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I loved it from start to finish. I loved this whole issue.
That's interesting. Like I wasn't like trying to judge it harshly or anything like that.
No, but you're gonna have to, because it's like, it's a big deal. It's
okay. No, it is a big deal. But that, like, the epilogue kind of soured me a little bit for sure. I did think it was interesting. I felt like Scott went out of his way to make sure he could open with that Alfred opening dialogue, because
you think it's Batman.
No, you think it's Scott.
Well, I mean, like, Scott is all over this book.
No, I know, but that particular, like, talking about being away from Gotham, all of that, I was like, this is Scott talking through Alfred.
Yeah.
For certain.
Yeah, well, Scott is definitely Alfred, in as much as like this is an Alfred who is seasoned and he's been through a lot, and he might be considered bitter, but then you see that he actually cares a lot, and it's like hidden under his gruff exterior, and you know, it's like that's Scott with this, where it's like you might think that because I invented the Court of Owls and also have been like raked over the coals with my multi non-crises or my like forgotten all-star Batman runs or all these other random things that I've done, that I'm going to do this, and I'm like, Batman again. But no, actually, I deeply love this thing and this idea and this universe, and I'm ready to go. Same with the big Batman. You know, it's like there's young Bruce clearly like punching the bag and being, you know, like, oh, I'm ready to take on the world, and then bigger Batman comes in and he's like, get the hell out of the way. And it's like that's also Scott being like, I've been around the block. I got this. You don't have to try so hard. Let me just be Batman. And it's like that's really cool too. Like there's a lot of Scott on display. Scott is an emotional dude who really wears his heart on his sleeve in a lot of his work. This is the most emotionally vulnerable I think Scott's ever been. In terms of fiction, it's just being like, this is me across the board. I hope you like it, but I don't care if you don't.
Right.
And that's really like that's something really strong.
Right. I also think it's rather interesting. This is an Alfred that I think some of us are a little comfortable with based on other iterations of Alfred that we have seen, but it's also an Alfred we've never seen.
Yep. You could say you've seen him in like White Knight or Earth One.
Yeah,
or...
I was thinking more of the Earth One Batman or Alfred for sure.
Yeah, big time.
But I think that's smart because he seems to be, even though this is Batman's book, he is our ride-along character right now.
Yeah.
And so like Alfred being something that we have maybe seen, but definitely not the same thing at all, gives us that like foothold in like stability while the rest of the world is so different. I thought that was really, really smart. It's really difficult to tell how old Alfred is, but like since we're dealing with such a young Bruce Wayne,
right? I'm guessing he's probably like 50,
right? Yeah, he's
maybe early 40s or late 40s. I'm saying. No, I think he's got to be like 46.
Okay,
between 46 and 50.
Yeah,
he needs to be, because of course there's a lot of allusions to Dark Knight Returns and Frank Miller in here. You got the the Greek chorus of the news cycle. You've got the misty Gotham. You got the hazy Gotham, I should say.
Yeah.
But so you're in that Bruce Wayne is 55, decrepit. According to Frank Miller in his 20s.
Frank Miller's like, ooh.
Today's Frank Miller's like, God, I wish I were 55. But yeah, like I this is another like kind of like take the trope, take the idea that and then just go. And this is one of those things where it's like, hey, take Dark Knight Returns. Dark Knight Returns, Batman's huge Batman.
He is.
It's like we've seen that,
and you can't help but make those two connections, especially when you look at the chest logo and his size and the color palette.
Yeah.
The fact that this Batman's ears are long, like the Batman, like Dark Knight Returns Batman's like
short,
so
ears.
short, like,
and that influenced the short ear kind of like trend for Batman.
Yes.
But then he takes them off,
I know.
And he got little ears again.
Yeah. He's got like big ears, and he's got like little ears,
which he could like stab you with. Except I think he did that already. In something else.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like recently. Oh, it was Zdarsky's Batman. He rammed into Red Mask.
Trash.
Yeah, he made the garbage.
The Batman who's trash. But yeah, no, this like seeing Bruce at such a young age. We've kind of seen that obviously with like Year One.
Oh yeah, with Scott. But
with Scott. But this is different.
Yes.
Right. This is a Bruce who is young, but is not as inexperienced as we might think he is
in a lot of things as well. Because like I never thought, and it also, this is so successful because it also makes you go, let's think about like what makes Batman who he is and who he is as a person.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, prime Earth Bruce Wayne, doesn't have a lot of friends.
Right.
Because he never had to make them.
Right. Because he's got a mom.
And he's poor.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that you recognize when you live. And when I say live, I mean like live a regular person life.
Yeah.
Just when you're not part of the 1%.
Yeah.
Like because Bruce Wayne is from the ultra rich. But like when you live with the rest of us, and the rest of us could also still make an annual salary of $100 million. Like I'm talking about like the ultra rich. If you want to live in this world, you need to make friends. This is a socialized Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
which is really interesting to see. And it's interesting to see that in comparison to regular Batman, who like grew up. Bruce is so like, he's so precious about family because it was like taken from him at a young age. But all he knows is family, like Alfred. In that big empty house. And he like is so warped by the experience that he needs to be, very separate from like he keeps his other people at a distance, all of his trainers that he took across the world when he became Batman.
Right.
But then like the first thing he does is adopt a kid.
Yeah.
This is a Bruce Wayne who's like, I was on a school trip.
Yeah.
Like I have friends.
Yeah.
I have a mom.
Yeah.
I got all these other things that protect me from the trauma that original Bruce would have immediately, embodied.
Oh yeah.
It's like, that's neat.
Yeah.
That's different,
yeah,
but not Batman.
No, he fights for something different for sure. Because it's instead of like him getting vengeance on like the city or like the crime that took his family from him, it's more that he like the problems around this Bruce are so egregious, so rampant.
Yeah.
That, not only, is he trying to presumably take vengeance from his for his family or for his father. But he is attempting to right a current wrong as well. And I was like, Scott's put him in a position where it's not just him being like, all right, let's see what my money can do here. He's just like, someone has to do something.
Yeah.
And someone is me, right? And I had this thought where I was like, wait a minute. Do you think there's any chance that single mom ends up with Alfred?
I don't know. That's the fun thing is I don't know anything. Like I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Like where we're going with this, which is so exciting.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, she could end up with Alfred.
I'm sure it won't happen, but I was like,
that'd be fun.
We've never seen that.
No.
And that'd be so bizarre.
It would be very bizarre. This is, I mean, like, the thing is, this is also a Batman who, like, has every reason not to be Batman because he has everything to lose.
Right, but he's not like the city that Scott has created. Like, we always see Gotham. Gotham is, like, not great, whatever, but, like, people they go to their jobs and they do whatever. And like, like people, there's like the rich and they're going to parties or whatever. But this is like a Gotham that is under fire.
Yeah.
This is like a Gotham that is in like dire need.
Yes.
They need a hero. They need help.
Yes.
Right. We see, Martha at the town hall
right,
meeting?
the meeting.
Like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's a town hall meeting.
Where like everyone, like the city is, like they're decrying what I assume is the mayor is
Jim's mayor.
Jim's mayor. Bullock is commissioner.
Yep.
Being like, you have to do something about this. And it's like, listen, I agree,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Scott's approaching this from a perspective of A, I need to leave something for Batman to do to show up, right?
Yes.
And B, it's not as easy as all that often, right? Like it's there's a lot of moving parts to it. And the crime wave that seems to have hit them is something maybe they've never seen before. Like there's always been crime, right? Like we see, Falcone, however you want to say it. So it's like, obviously there has been a trend of crime, the traditional crime we've seen, but now there's this other thing and it's ever so much worse.
Yes.
Right. So it's like, it's just an interesting, bit of like story, like world building that we're doing here for Batman to play in, for him to live in. Plus, of course, Scott's desire for history stuff. When he like pulled up the death masks, I was like, okay,
yeah,
here we go.
Right. Yeah.
Just good stuff though. Overall, I think I really like the fact that Batman is young in a sense where it's like maybe he won't immediately be like, I have to adopt a ward. Like,
no, I would love to like take some time. People were talking about like Absolute Batgirl and Absolute Robin. I'm like, whoa. Well, let's take some time here. Let's enjoy this universe for a little while. Let's pump the brakes.
And that's what I would like to see, because if we get to see Absolute Batman just kind of like do his thing for a bit, that probably means that there's a good chance that they'd like to keep this going for longer.
I hope so.
If things start hitting the page, it's like, wait, are we not living in this universe very long? Like, and maybe that's what upsets me about the epilogue, right? It's just like, and like, oh, okay, I'm just getting to know things are going on, and they're like this, and I'm like, dude, I understand.
Yeah,
there is not a doubt in my mind if you're telling a new Batman world, if you're telling me about a new Gotham, a new Bruce Wayne, a new iteration of him, that somewhere in that world is the makings of the Joker.
Yeah,
right. Like,
I know Joker's there.
I understand that 100%. You didn't have to reveal it just yet. I feel like
not at all. 2 years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, Scott, Benny, and I were walking to the con.
Okay.
And Scott tells me about what would become the zoo sequence.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
And
yep.
And Benny and I were just like, we were blown away.
Yep.
No pun intended. Ha ha ha. But like, I was like, you gotta be careful with that, because he posed it in such an interesting way. He's like, what are children afraid of today?
Right.
And I was like, I know exactly where you're going with this, and you gotta be super careful.
Yep.
With how this is executed, or it's gonna fall flat.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, he's a veteran writer. He knew what to do, but it was like that thing where I'm like, that is such a great idea.
Yeah. And
I can understand the motivation to not do it because of how, like, that anyone might be like afraid to do that or to not go there. And I was amazed at how they squared the circle, how they made that work, where it's like, if it had been in a school, I think it might have been too far.
Yeah.
But making it a school trip in a public place perfectly walked that line.
Oh, I agree.
And that image, like that double page image of the gun, I was like, you nailed it. And this is all, by the way, kind of like quietly complimenting Dragota's work, because I've never seen Dragota art like this. Now, you read East Meets West, so you knew that he was good.
I was like, no, trust me, it's
but
there.
I've only looked at Dragota's like comic, like superhero work, and I'm like, I am not a fan.
Yeah.
But crushed it in terms of its like just its maturity and its like superhero-ness. Like there's all these different ideas, and it's just like such a good but anyway, but the origin, Bruce's origin, Batman's origin, so modern and well executed. People are gonna be like, I'm surprised no one's talking about it. Like, I haven't heard anybody talking about it, and I'm like, this is good.
Yeah,
like this is, and when I say good, I mean like capital G. Like this is art.
I kind of feel like, and we'll see, right? Because I can't tell if Scott's like treating us like adults, where it's like, and you figured out how we get from point A to point B, where it's like where little Bruce is when this is going down to where he is now. It's like, or we're going to see another sequence that kind of extrapolates that in a later issue. And I think that's probably when people, if he does do that, we'll talk about it. That said, like, I honestly appreciate the fact that it's funny because it's like with Bruce in standard storytelling in the main universe,
right?
You know, little Bruce only sees his like what happens, right? Like little Bruce is only there to see his father's heroics, if depending on storytelling, right? But the fact that he tries to, like he tries.
It depends. It depends,
but you know what I mean? Like he's the only one. In this instance, there's an audience. There is an audience. There are other children who were affected by this as well and who know it. And I just think that's actually like a weird little detail that like kind of changes it, because it's not just some rich guy. It doesn't belong
just to him too.
Yeah, it doesn't belong just to him. Like his father's actions make a
saved other people.
Like make a difference to their lives. And not that I'm saying that they're going to go. His
class owes their lives to Tom.
Right. Or it's that like, if he had friends who were there, they might get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's funny how this one like shift actually could mean something more. We may never see anything of it, but like as you're reading and as you're thinking about it, think about the fact that there's an audience there now.
Absolutely.
This time around. And I think that's really, really interesting.
Yeah. And making it not like a Joe Chill or a character like Dragota's deliberate obfuscation of his face, not like in a comic book way where it's like it's behind if it was behind a door or in the barn, you'd be like, what? Like you'd be like, who is he?
Yeah.
But making it it's just blurry. It's not in shadow. He doesn't have a face.
Right.
You're like, that's anyone.
Yeah, it's anyone. And of course he could use that later on.
Sure, but I don't want them to. But don't.
No, I actually prefer it where it's just like, this is a random act.
This is as terrible and as thoughtless as it ever is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that person, like all of them, doesn't deserve a name. Like that's awesome. It's so like smart.
Yeah, it's also it's honestly like making it that, obviously with the original origin story, it shifted and changed like who the person was.
Sometimes it was nobody, sometimes it was Joe Chill, sometimes it was Joker in the movie.
Right. But it's like in this instance, you have a Batman who comes from nothing essentially, who understands that there is evil out there and has nothing to do with a costume character.
Right.
I really appreciate that it for now is no one.
Right.
It's just
Batman doesn't fight it.
Yeah.
It's not like, because Batman isn't going to save kids from this experience or from anyone from this experience. But like it's a reaction.
Right.
The same way that like kind of Batman in the 30s was a reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, it was mostly just like a pastiche of like pulpy noirish, like children's fantasy, but like it was also this kind of like reaction to what they believed was like a problem with crime. If only we could just empower ourselves and solve the problem ourselves.
Yeah.
But Batman also, and this is Scott's point to like this whole book, is like Batman worked within the confines of the law. Batman worked with the commissioner of police. Like Batman ties up criminals and brings them to the police. The police like do their justice. One of his villains is a thing that gets in the way of justice, a lawyer. Yeah.
And
And I say that as a joke. But this Batman is like, everything that is structured and works failed me.
Oh yeah.
I was in a place that should have been safe, and it failed me. My father was a public servant, and he died for no reason. The police do nothing. I don't work with them.
Yeah, I don't
you
like
know?
they're like the city is falling apart.
Yeah.
I also love how we go about, obviously like billionaire Bruce Wayne, who decides he's going to like leave the limelight and study the world, has the funds to do that.
Yes. This Batman
can't.
No.
He can't go anywhere except for where he is, essentially.
Yep.
And I really appreciate that Scott's like, we need to answer this question now.
Yes. Yeah. Right away, so you can buy all the ridiculous things he's doing.
Yeah, and
but
it's
that's
actually
also such a smart move.
But it's actually like it's weirdly just it's refreshing. Like, I take for granted sometimes that it's like, yeah, ha ha ha, Batman knows everything. Batman has money and he knows everything and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Right. And this Batman, like, I'm like, I buy it. He worked his ass off for everything. Right. And so when he is cool or when he has it over on someone, like I have one issue and I'm actually like rooting for him.
Yes.
Right. Like, even though Alfred right now is our ride along, and I'm like, Alfred, honey, come on. Like,
and building on that point, Scott's Bruce Wayne, I never really gave him any dues when it was happening during the Capullo run, because I don't buy a Batman who quips and makes jokes and has like enough of a personality like he does. That Scott's Batman has a personality.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even really ever I didn't buy it. But this Batman can have the personality Scott always wants to give Batman.
Yep.
And I totally buy it with this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm not only am I rooting for him, but I'm like looking forward to getting to know him better. The same way I liked Peter from the Ultimate Universe immediately.
Yeah.
So it manages to successfully do the thing that it quietly is trying to do, which is build an Ultimate Universe.
No, absolutely. No, here is my only like fear, and I refuse to allow this to ruin my read on this book.
Is that Joker thing?
Well, no, actually, it's something else.
Oh,
the Joker thing. Listen, like that was just so. Again, like we all know,
right?
He's out.
No, but he's the opposite. He's got money.
My fear for this, and again, I'm not going to allow this to like
Color
ruin, like my future reads of issues as they come out. Is that what I love about this Batman right now?
Yeah,
obviously, is that he is there for Gotham.
Yes,
and he is there to make that better, and he seemingly is there to try to figure things out and just do what he feels like the police cannot do. Right. The issue with Batman sometimes now, like in the main universe, is that like he is a character who's been to space and fights with the Justice League and fights gods and like all this stuff, right? And so sometimes it's really hard to imagine him just stopping crime in Gotham because like the Justice League needs him on a spaceship somewhere, right?
Yeah.
This Batman doesn't have that, but we all know it's tied into something larger. And I'm afraid eventually he's going to have to get swept up in that.
I can't wait to see that.
I don't want him to. I want him to stay and do this.
Well, that's why I'm hoping it'll stay that way.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's why no one's talking about an absolute Justice League.
Sure. I don't want it. I just want to, what are you doing, Batman? Cool. What are you doing, Superman? Great. Let them do their own thing for a bit, because it's like you can't unring the bell of having them meet the first time.
That's right. That's right. So like let's earn it. Let's build to it. Let's take time.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. Yeah. I mean, I love the idea. I mean, look, the DC universe was originally built. The DC universe was originally a quilt of different continuities and realities from the jump. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, people we like are called the Trinity, are all from different effing publishers. Like they're all from different realities at the end of the day, origin points. We buy the interconnected universe of Marvel because they were all made by like 4 people.
Yeah.
At the same time, within the same like 4-year framework, in the same world immediately.
Yep.
Except for like Namor and Captain America, but like they were retconned in later.
Yeah.
Like when Stan, Jack, and Steve were all just kind of like building it up with Fantastic Four, they were like, here's boom, 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 here's everybody. So like that's amazing, and I love the idea of doing that with the absolute universe.
Right.
But I also want them to embrace that route by being like, let's be just let's just do Batman for like a while.
Yeah. No, this is just a Batman who I like our Batman. I love him. I do. And this doesn't
Oh,
take away from
Prime
him.
Earth Batman.
He
yeah.
doesn't like this absolute Batman does not subtract from that Batman.
No,
right?
no,
At
no.
all. But it does make me realize just how much it's like that Batman is like, no, I understand Gotham and I know what it needs and blah, 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 blah. But I've never had to actually live in Gotham.
Right. Yeah. I live in the Palisade. Like I live over there.
You know what I mean? This is a Batman who's like, I live here.
Yeah. Right.
And it's really hard.
Well, and like, you know, Batman had an idealized vision of Gotham. And
Yeah.
it's more like, it's funny because like, I think Prime Earth Batman and the Dark Knight Returns Batman have a lot more in common because the Dark Knight Returns Batman is like, the world only makes sense when you force it to.
Right.
Like, Gotham took something from me, and I will make Gotham a place that won't do that again. This is a Batman who's like, I got friends here.
Yeah, and
Like,
I don't want to see
How
that
could
happen
Gotham
to
be a bad
them.
place? Me and my friends came from here. You're like, no, some aberration wrecked my good day at the zoo and robbed my mom of her husband. But like, that doesn't mean Gotham is a bad place.
Yeah.
You know, like that guy sucks. And it's almost a little more well-adjusted Batman, or at the very least, he has like roots that I kind of appreciate that build towards your point about like a kind of detached Batman. I mean, really, the attached part of like the attached versus detached. That's kind of the big fundamental difference between those two Batman.
Right. Absolutely. Overall, like I'm honestly like impressed with the first showing post epilogue or without epilogue. Like I think it's a great book and I'm looking forward to more of it. I just really don't want the epilogue.
No.
I just don't want it.
Here's the
sorry,
thing. If the epilogue had been saved for like another issue,
I think I would rather I just feel like the epilogue makes it feel like this is going to be the thing that's coming. And I'm like, but he has something to do. Like there's so many things for Batman to do that have nothing to do with this particular thing. I know that's like more tethered to Alfred, but like there's plenty going on. We don't need him looming. We know he's looming.
Right.
I don't need to see he's looming.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like because he tends to overshadow. So if he shows up, he'll overshadow. I think he was more like he doesn't add to this issue, but also doesn't subtract.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm absolutely looking forward to the next issue of this. But I'm even more looking forward to Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no, I can't wait.
I'm honestly, I am also looking forward to Superman because I have
no idea what the hell I'm looking at.
What is it?
What is this? I mean, it's Jason Aaron's. Like, I know it's gonna be dope. Oh yeah, we're talking to Jason Aaron too.
We're doing. Well, you are.
Yeah.
I gotta work.
No, we're doing at New York Comic Con. I'm gonna talk to Scott and Jason at the same time. We're gonna do like a little.
I freaking love it.
Yeah, two titans
with
their number one books, Turtles and Batman.
Oh, love it.
Can we get another Batman Turtles, by the way?
Maybe with Absolute Batman?
No. I like that idea that both Batmen are like, yeah, these Turtles are dope. Because this Batman would be like, these guys are cool. Yeah, no, he'd connect with Raffle a little better. But I want to see another one.
The best Turtle.
Yeah, I want Scott. If Scott's gonna jump back into the DC Prime universe, I want it to be like just have Scott do a Turtles Batman. I want to see that.
Okay.
Because we had 3 Tynan the Fourths.
Which are great.
And this other one, the animated one. I didn't read the animated one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love another one.
Maybe it's Absolute Batman, but it's more of like the OG comic book Turtles.
Oh yeah. The Mirage Turtles, as I like to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Ooh, sorry.
I take any of it. I'm down.
Fair.
But yeah. Anyway, so obviously the raffle isn't over. We're gonna. But everybody's been entered.
What's the book of the week? So we're all entered now. Thank you for your entries.
It's Batman.
So, as we're discussing the book of the week,
yes.
We're gonna have our moderator start pulling names, and we're gonna go from there as we launch into book of the week and also what's coming out.
That's right.
This week as well.
Yeah.
So your book of the week,
Absolute Batman. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like it is because and the thing is, there was a lot riding on it.
Yeah. Fair.
Because he needs big shoulders carrying a universe, but he won't
wings.
be. Yeah, and wing. Oh yeah, and also the Dragota's action sequences are fantastic, but his quiet character work is also fantastic. It's all great. The colorist is perfectly suited to Dragota. That's Frank Martin. Frank Martin is. Don't ever lose Frank Martin. when it comes to Dragotta, because again, I'm like, I think Dragotta lives and dies on this.
Yeah. May I say though, I agree.
Right.
I agree that his action sequences are great. I actually really enjoy his work on Alfred and a lot of the other older characters.
Yeah.
Some of it is not okay. Children characters look great too.
Yeah.
But like mid-range, like 20s characters,
they kind of get lost.
They
I'm like,
kinda get
I'm not
lost
sure
a
who they
little bit,
are.
like
how old is Barbara? How old is Martha?
Well, I was gonna also say just that like Bruce is like I don't know, his face sometimes it's like we don't care as much about Bruce as we do Batman.
Yeah, but we need to care.
I do. We need a little bit more there, but overall, like it's a successful like first showing in the book for the amount of questions people got when that first image of Batman hit the internet. I think that this issue proved a right team for this. But that also there's a lot of heart behind something that looks like seemingly so intentionally like designed
grim and
or
gritty.
Cool. Like it's like, no, look at this, it's so different.
Look at how
it's
cool
like,
and dark it is.
It's like, but that's not all there is to this
no,
story.
it's not.
So
no, there's a lot. I remember Scott talking about that. Like, all the cape work.
Yeah,
and he's like, he's gonna be coming out of the darkness, like on his hands and knees, like like a bat. And I'm like, that's scary as shit. I don't know if it's gonna translate, but I'm right. And then he's gonna hook people. He's gonna be like, whoa. And I'm like, all right. I mean, like that sounds fun. Absolutely. That sounds dope. I guess I can't wait to see that.
Yes.
And then I see it, and I'm like, yeah. Or he's gonna shoot people in the face with a modified shotgun. It's gonna be awesome.
So that's your book of the week.
That's my book of the week. It's absolutely Batman.
Okay.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, my book of the week is Terminator #1, especially the last 2 pages.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
The last 2 pages of Terminator #1 is my book of the week.
Thank
Batman was a close second.
Yeah.
It was fine. But honestly, let's also give out a shout out to X-Force #4.
For just being like the unsung hero of the X line.
It's just so like consistent and great and fun. And magic. Give me more.
Yeah, more magic.
Always.
More magic.
But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, what do we do now? Should we do the recommendations or should we do the
I think
super
we
chats?
should do some I forgot about super chats.
Yeah, we have.
Let's go through the super chats.
All right. Raidu, happy Monday. Finally able to catch us live again due to random events. I'm flying from Arizona to New York for this week and decided to give Thursday pass for New York Comic Con. Suggestions, tips for a first timer coming for a single day. Well, first of all, I hope it wasn't for tragedy, but I'm glad to see that you're joining us. Here's what I would recommend, Raidu. I would recommend bringing water, trying local cuisine that is not at the con, and either do that like early or after, but like don't interrupt your show, but like eat in New York.
If you're only there for the one day, first of all, Thursday's a great day for you to be there. It's going to have the lowest attendance.
Yes.
Overall,
and you will be like, how is that possible? Look at all these people.
Yeah, it's gonna feel like it's still full.
Yeah, the first thing you want to do is go to the Artist Alley.
I guess if I may recommend,
please
take a look at the artist guests who are going to be there, and then if there are folks that you're like, ooh, I would love to say hi to them, I'd love to get a signature from them, go and search out their socials to see what their schedule is, to see if they're going to be there. From there, I would highly recommend making a hierarchy of things that like are people you'd love to meet. Pick out like maybe 2 or 3 of them and then see how it goes, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it can go really fast and you're like, oh, great, I can go see someone else.
Yes.
Or I want to go check out something over here.
Yes.
But you want to also leave some time to actually see the main floor. If you've never been,
it's worth seeing.
You got to see the main floor.
Yeah.
You got to see whatever giant Dragon Ball thing they're going to bring.
Whatever big inflatable statue they have.
You know what? Regardless of how you feel about it, it's impressive.
It is impressive.
It's impressive.
Yeah. But yes, make a list of those creators that you want to see and meet. Figure out where they are, like just write down their booth numbers
for sure,
and then just tackle it. But Artist Alley, the floor, and take a million pictures. Take more pictures than you think you need to.
Yep.
And if you can, take as many pictures of yourself with whatever you think is cool as you can. Like just everybody's offering, everybody's happy to offer to help you. So like be like, can you take my picture really quick? Just take a picture.
Yes.
Yeah, but just get pictures because because it's going to be your first time going. It's gonna be crazy. If you can, bring a little bit of hand sanitizer with you.
Oh, for sure.
And I would recommend I'd grab a mask and just if you don't want to wear it all day, just tuck it in your back pocket.
And it has nothing to do with...
It does nothing to do with COVID or anything like that. It's just sanitary reasons. Now that we've normalized it a little bit, I couldn't recommend it higher enough because like there are some times pre-COVID where I was like, I wish I had some measure of protection. When it's like this, and I'm walking through a crowd of people and they're all coughing on me, I'm like, I wish I'd done any preparation for this in any way. I guess I'll just take more like vitamins,
I have walked through far too many sneezes at that con.
Exactly.
I have walked through far too many coughs. Like literally, you just turn around and someone's just like "Hachoo,"
And
I'm
it
like,
sneezes at you.
like I felt it. Nobody wants to feel a sneeze.
No.
Never want to feel a sneeze. But yeah, regardless of how you feel about that. Also, sometimes for me, when we're going through like the bins, I have a bit of a dust allergy, and sometimes
Mhm.
I actually find something like that helps out.
Yeah,
me not to
wearing
feel-
that or having
yeah.
just the hand sanitizer after you're done, because like touching comics all day, anybody who works at a local comic book store would
Yes.
know. You get like paper,
You get
dust,
newsprint.
ink. You get newsprint.
It's on there. It's on there
Gross.
for sure. But yeah, do all of that, and then again, if you have a chance before you get there, if you're only gonna be there for the one day, obviously you want to try to use as much of the time there as possible.
Mhm.
So bring snacks.
Yeah,
There is a food court downstairs, but sometimes it's pricey.
it's very pricey.
Take a look around,
And
see
it's gonna
whatever.
It's gonna be pricey, and there's gonna be a big line anyway.
Yeah. And bring a refillable water bottle. There are fill stations.
There are fill stations, so you don't pay for water. But yeah, that's our recommendation.
Yeah.
Bear Farmer. After all this week's comics, I have just one question: Zombies versus Terminators. I think Terminators because they have less meat. You know what I mean? Even if you blow away a Terminator, like the flesh goes away.
No,
And
but where is that story?
I don't know,
Like,
man.
Don't you want to pitch
No.
this? Don't you? You don't want to see? I want to see a story in which like there is like
There's
it's like
humanity
it's like
left.
a pocket universe, right? Like this is a pocket universe. This is not something that actually happens within the Terminator universe because
Sure.
it can't, right? But like where there's like a zombie apocalypse that has happened. It's some tangent timeline, right?
Yeah.
Where that occurs, and then there's like a zombie
Yeah.
who's got like a person and they're eating away, and
Yeah.
it's just revealed
That it's a Terminator.
that it's the Terminator.
Yeah, all right, that sounds
underneath it.
fun.
Like, come on.
Yeah, all right. Well, you got to write that. Let me see it. Chocobo Kid, Absolute Sal, and All in Tiffany, you guys rock. I am doing my part to support the great work. Thank you,
You're
Chocobo
so
Kid.
kind.
Appreciate
You're
it,
so
man.
kind. Thank
Alex
you.
Sanchez just got back from the comic shop and picked up a new We 3 hardcover, and Miller's Wanted Big Game hardcover. The Scots got me today. Scott love Terminator. Thank you, man.
Very nice.
And yeah, I saw there was a We 3 hardcover. I'll never buy it because I don't want to be sad.
I can't. I know I should.
Oh yeah,
because
it's great.
I hear it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
But I really have a hard time with animal.
Yeah, me too. Bryce Harriet, I hope you guys are doing well. My entire experience with Terminator is seeing T2 and reading this issue. You and the rest of the team killed it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bryce. That's high company. That's a great company to be in. Aiden Gray, Terminator was the first time I ever pre-ordered or added a book to my pull list. It was surreal to see Sal's name on a new book. Loved it, man. I hope this is only the start. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you, Aiden.
So
Appreciate it, man.
kind. Thank you.
And I hope the experience was like easy, and if it is, like hopefully that'll like help you, because you know sometimes you'll see a book and you'll go like, oh, I wish I didn't miss that. Like now you can just now you're good to go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bear Farmer, my girlfriend asked why the JLU show was so good, but superhero shows all after sucked for a bit, and all I could say was Dwayne McDuffie after the JLU book was announced. What's your favorite Timverse episode? I mean, Dwayne McDuffie is definitely like peak. I mean, he also did the adaptation for All-Star Superman, which was like a great adaptation. Yeah. I don't know. I'll say the adaptation of what's it called? For the Man Who Was Everything that DeMatteis did. It's one of the few Alan Moore what was it, like endorsed adaptations of his work.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good answer.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
I think I like that one too.
It's great, right?
Yeah, it's just so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mongol's awesome. I mean, it's because Alan really like crushed it, but like DeMatteis got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Blended Time says, hi guys, I'm love from the UK. Big fan of the channel. Thank you very much. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Hulkzilla, can't think of a better way to celebrate my birthday. Happy birthday, Hulkzilla. Thank you for being here and being so supportive for
Oh
us
my
for so long.
gosh.
I'm watching you guys. You guys are one of the main reasons why this has been a better year for me. Wishing you the absolute best.
Well, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Thank you very much and have a wonderful birthday, my
Thank
friend.
you.
John Cotta, congrats, Sal on Terminator. Amazing work. I have a recommendation for Tiffany.
Oh.
Thistlebone, if you haven't already checked it out. English folk horror with painted art from 2000 AD. Thanks for all the content. Wow.
Okay, I'm just gonna write that down.
Thistlebone.
Thistlebone.
Armed Armadillo. Man, I can't believe Tiffany got Sal on the show. Congrats on the backup. Thanks, Armadillo.
I know. What a great interview, God. I loved it.
Let's see. T480. Hello. Hope you're all both well. Are you watching Vox Machina? Highly recommend, even though I know you were more into Ack Inc., which is a great. But Vox Machina is just really cool as well. We watched a couple episodes of Vox Machina.
So yeah, I did watch a couple episodes. I think it's something I would definitely keep watching, given the time to do so. But yeah, I was like a fan of like old, like there was a window of time for Ack Inc. for me, and it just like the type of humor that was
Yep.
there really just hit the right way.
It was Scott. Having Scott on Ack Inc. was
but it wasn't just Scott. It was like all of those
that
people
dynamic
together, like
Rothfuss.
that. Yeah, like
Who's
Jerry
Who's the
and Mike and Chris Perkins, like
Chris
all
Perkins.
of them like coming together. That was just like a really fun window of time. And like if people held on to that and kept going
Good
with
for
it,
them.
that's great. But for me, I was just like, this was really fun, and then I was kind of out
Yeah.
from it. But like, yeah, Ack Inc. is one of those things where Vox Machina is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I could see myself watching that. I just need a little time
The funny thing
to sit
is-
down and watch it, because I like that level of like adult humor,
Yes.
or like modern speak in a fantasy sort of
The
setting.
anachronism of it.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. And I like the actors for it. I found it. I
Every
couldn't find
time-
Thistlebone. I've kept coming up with just Thistle.
Every time I see or hear about Vox Machina,
Yeah.
I just think about how I'd rather make some of it.
Fair. No, I get that. I get that. But the animated show itself,
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see myself.
Yeah.
I could see myself getting that. Wow.
Oh, well, that's a good. I mean, like you hear the like 2000 AD work, artists from that. It's Rami Darwood. Oh, I'm sorry. West Morris. I'm sorry. Hey Sal, Terminator is the first property based on a comic I've picked up. Hope Dynamite is listening. Random question. With the holidays coming up, are there any places or organizations to donate comics to?
Ooh, great
Here's my
question.
recommendation to you, man. Halloween's coming up. Grab
Yeah,
all
but-
the all ages comics you have and give those away. The rest of it, it's tough, man. I gave a lot of hardcovers and soft covers to my local library.
Yes.
I would actually reach out to maybe like a local school and talk to their English department
Mm-hmm.
and see if either there is a comic book club, or B, a comic enthusiast working for the English department.
Yeah.
And be like, here, and then just distribute them and have them handle it.
Yes.
Because you don't want to show up at like a school with like your comic books and be like, all right, does anybody want this?
Yeah. Additionally, I think you can call ahead. Don't just do it.
Yeah, no, you got to check.
But call ahead to like local hospitals.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're looking for reading material, and depending on the age range of the comics that you have, it could be something good for different wards of the hospital for sure.
Yep.
And then if you have like some older books, consider calling up a retirement community. Maybe they're looking for something like that, especially if you have stuff that maybe some of those folks grew up with. There
Yeah.
might be something that they're interested in having. Just a little stroll down like memory lane there.
I love that idea. What a great concept. Rami Darwish, congrats, Sal. I genuinely enjoyed what came out and made me excited for the rest.
Heck
Thanks, man. I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Lee Allen, loved your backup. Sal, big ups for telling a story following Middle Eastern characters. Thanks, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun like twist that I wanted to try.
Yep. Absolutely.
T480, congrats again on Terminator, Sal. Well deserved. Thank you very much.
Hooray.
Doc, I'm about to enter the 1990s era of X-Men and wanted to know what people's reactions were to Apocalypse being introduced. Excited or annoyed? People were down for Apocalypse when he first appeared. But again, when I was on the scene, Apocalypse had already been established. But
Mhm.
like, I remember people being more impressed and excited about Apocalypse thanks to the cartoon.
Okay.
Like Apocalypse, like the cartoon kind of like made you go, oh, this guy's a big deal. The comics, he was a big deal and they treated him as such, but like you saw his cameo in Mutant Massacre where he just shows up out of nowhere and it's like, what? Or his cameo in that Jungle Adventure where it's like, what is this? And
right.
is he kind of a goofball? But people got it and dug it, but not, I want to say Age of Apocalypse is really when people were like, oh.
Fair.
Or Executioner Song. Like when he starts like by the time Age of Apocalypse happened, people treated him like a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But that is post cartoon and post like Archangel transformation.
Right,
so
right.
by that point, he had already become a thing.
All
but
right, big deal.
All right, big deal. You got your guys. Should we do that now?
Yeah, why don't we do one of them right
All right,
now?
we'll do one drawing. That way that person can jump in and let us know who they identify themselves. But we have our winner for one copy of Terminator #1 from Dynamite Entertainment, and that is Agon's 1027. So I'm going to put you in the chat here. Agon's 1027.
That's one.
That's
Sound
one.
off.
So if you are there, let us know. And
we're going to keep doing some super chats.
we'll do some more of these. Let's see here. A secret boss. I hear there's a contest going on. Slowly sips $5. Thank you very much, man. Well, I'm sorry. You didn't win the first one, but we'll see what the next one. Emily, the goaltending drummer. Hey, Sal and Tiffany.
I love that name.
It's been really fun getting into comics the past year through your channel. Absolute Batman was so good, and I'm excited for All In. Well, so am I. Thank you very much for being here, Emily, and welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here and for letting us help guide you through this. Cat Lawyer will defend for treats. Psst, Tiffany, don't look now, but I think the writer from the hot-selling Terminator book is sitting right next to you.
Oh, I know.
I know, right? Congrats, Sal. So happy for you. Thanks, Cat Lawyer. I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it too. Thank you for being on the same page as me.
All right.
Here.
Matt Fisher. So I read Terminator, but why wasn't Sal's name on it? You deserve some props. That was the most inventive Terminator thing in quite a while. Also, hi. Thanks, Matt Fisher. I appreciate it. Yeah, they don't normally put the backup writer on the cover, so which is completely fine. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy that I was just in it, and I got a whole page. Like there's a whole credits page just for us.
Yes,
just for me and the
I love
team
that. You just turn that page and it's like bam.
It's like there's me. There's no like, oh, blink and you miss it. Activate the agon signal. Remember, the way it works is if agons is agons, we're gonna move on.
I have a list of folks, so some of you in the chat might be like, "That's fine."
Yeah. Some guy with a mustache. Congrats, Sal. Number 7. Happy scary season, and watch out for the stuff like Candlejack because you never know what. Oh, thank you.
You only said it one time.
Yeah, but he said it. You never know when.
Oh.
What? I didn't say Candlejack. I said Applejack.
I thought you had to say it multiple times. I realized it's just the one.
Just the one.
But I didn't say it.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Hang on, I gotta get off the roof. That is such a funny episode. Matt Fisher, please ignore my earlier comment. To be fair, if I take my glasses off, Donald Trump looks like a Beyonce, so I'm worse than Jodie LaForge. Don't worry, man. You're doing fine. Cat Lawyer returns. I hope we will see Absolute Sal for Absolute Back issues. Yeah. I'll have to get ripped for that episode.
Ripped.
Okay, look, there he is. Agon's 1027. Danielle will reach out to you and give you the deets about what you need to be doing
Absolutely.
next.
So we'll do a couple more super chats, and then we'll do our other winner.
That's right. Typical Spider, thinking about how fun it'd be to get a special live episode of Back Issues one day. This channel means a lot to me, and I look forward to getting a chance to meet you guys one day. Love the population. Love you too, man. We've done a couple. Very rarely, but we've done a couple. And if you wanted to check out that experience, check out our old live streams. We did, I don't remember when, well, maybe a longer viewer will be able to tell you. But but we've done a couple throughout the live streams, the big epic kind of subscriber milestone streams. But thank you, man. Matt Fisher. As for my weekly couch plea, Mageddon, do the Scottish warrior proud. Mageddon. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. Art and Chitwood. As soon as I read Absolute Punk Rock, Terry McThickness unit who lives, I knew I was truly all in. Congrats on Terminator. I read that too, and I thought it was great. Well, thanks, man. And yeah, it was so cool. It was such a unexpectedly what a dope book that turned out to be. I always knew it was going to be though. Matt Fisher, just to be clear, is Darkseid the actual Earth? I don't know.
We're gonna have to find out.
Thorn Identity, remedial super chat. ComicPop Woo. Thank you very much, Thorn Identity.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you for your generosity, and congratulations to you, man, on a fantastic series.
They gonna be at New York?
They better be. We've never met, so if you are, let me know privately. You know how to reach out to me. But let me know. Happy Steve, so happy to catch a live episode and not on the replay. Great work on the comic sale. You always came across as a humble person, but allow yourself to take the praise. Got your books on a pull. Excited. Thank you, Happy Steve. I appreciate that. That makes me a happy Sal. Yes, he is. I appreciate that. I'm trying,
Mageddon was the villain for World War III.
Oh, okay. Yes. I only read that once, and it was a while ago. And every time I try to read it, I go, I think I need more context.
Sal is living in a post-Terminator world right now.
It's true. Cat Lawyer, also, Batman Cult hardcovers here. Love it because of you. Thanks. Oh! Yeah, I almost bought it. I was like, I already have 2 copies. I don't want to, have 14.
But that collector in you was like,
buy it. But it is an oversized hardcover. I know. I really did want to buy it.
I don't know why it was creeping up your head.
Yeah, why it was a spider. CJ Stevenson, what do you think of the dynamic will be amongst the Trinity in this new Absolute universe? I know there isn't much to go on. I don't know because there's really just we have no idea what Superman's going to be about, and honestly, I don't know what Wonder Woman's. I have some vibes, but we don't know yet. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. Metaphor says, "Hey, Sound Tiff, if you co-wrote a DC or Vertigo book, what character or team would you choose? Do you have a preferred artist? Congrats on Terminator." Thanks, Metaphor. Tiffany, what do you got?
Oh, what do you mean?
If you were to do a DC or Vertigo book, what character or team would you choose?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, who doesn't want to play around in the Sandman universe, regardless of more recent potential news things or what have
Yes.
you? But it's like, what an amazing, amazing universe. But like, I just don't feel like I'm. Here's the thing. He's a writer.
You could be.
I just don't know if I'd feel like good about like taking on any of like the Vertigo British Invasion books, because it's just like
we're decidedly not British.
It's just a different vibe. They're just so like,
I have a pitch for you.
There are plenty of American writers who are phenomenal. They're just, British writers sometimes just hit different.
Yeah, they do.
They just hit different, and I don't know what that is. So I guess I would want to write. I feel like I'd want to write something that wasn't super close to me,
right?
You know what I mean? And I don't know what that is. Like, I don't think I'd write a good Wonder Woman story, and I don't think I'd write a good John Constantine story.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that leaves me at this point.
Dr. Fate.
Maybe
you're like, I don't know. Dr. Fate's kind of a tough.
I just feel like even doing magic, it's like I feel like I should, like, if I had to write something, I feel like it'd want to be like something
over there, something
yeah,
on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
So I was going to pitch a book called C and Z, and it was just just a Constantine Zatanna team up book.
Sure, cute. Cute. I'll just write my what was it? My Batman, Superman, Constantine book.
Yes,
where it's like one of them.
They go back to hell,
stuck somewhere.
Yeah,
and he's just like.
Yeah, Batman and Superman being like, this guy.
No, it's just him being like,
oh, these two.
This Boy Scout.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be fun. I would love to see that. That would sell because it's, at least Batman's in it. The Space Cowboy couldn't make it from Atlantic City last week, so I'm dropping 5.
Book. You're mean, chat.
For another one, I get the book this week. So happy for you, Sal. Thanks, see you, Space Cowboy. Thank you, man.
Oh.
Matt Fisher, Mageddon was the villain in World War III. Thank you, man. Agons 1027. Thank you, Sal. Tip. Congrats, Sal. I can't wait to get my book. You're amazing. So are you, Agons. Thank you very much for being part of the population and for doing this thing. Oh, did someone mention Pariah? Matt Fisher, time for dinner, but like you next week, I'll be back.
Ha!
Yeah, man. So that's it. Let's do another one.
Okay.
Shall we? Next one up is PS Viewer. So it's PS View. Yeah, PS Viewer. There he is.
I'll keep watching the chat. You do your thing.
Dex Baker, I randomly re-listened to a pod you did with comic tropes from April 2020 and got really misty. Nothing to do with today, but thank you guys for being that rock back then.
Oh, yeah.
This is why we're a cult. Yeah, according to friggin' Tom King anyway. But thanks, man. Yeah, it was such a crazy time.
Yeah.
And it was such a golden opportunity for us to do all these collaborations.
By the way, since I did buy extra books, like my plan was originally for us to give away some here and then to give away books on other avenues, whether that be Instagram or maybe over on one of my live streams. So if you didn't win one today,
maybe we'll do another one.
Yeah, and by maybe I mean like I bought them. So
all right, fine. That's fun. I like that.
I'm gonna make him sign these.
Yeah, I will. So let's recommend some comics that are coming out this week.
Yeah, I'm excited while we wait for PS Viewer. And if not,
there he is. Hello, a number one contest. I use screen readers, so it might take some time. No problem.
Okay.
You did it.
No problem.
We got you, man. That's it. Congratulations.
We're here. And then,
but don't leave because we have so much more.
Yeah, Danielle is gonna get your deets.
Yep.
So
your info.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah.
No worries.
All right. I gotta recommend Ultimate Spider-Man number 10. I've read the preview. It's fantastic.
Okay,
Such a great series. Just more Ben and Jonah. Nightwing number 118 is coming out. I feel like it's been a while. Batman Superman World's Finest number 32.
Feel like that,
right? Yeah. I think it was delayed.
Okay.
So World's Finest 32. It's a great series. It's so good, worth buying. Definitely check it out. Wonder Woman 14. This is the book that people have been waiting for when it comes to Wonder Woman. Huge.
Hey, okay.
As I understand, it's a huge issue. So we'll see if anyone's blowing smoke or not.
Okay.
Wolverine 2 is dropping. We're going to see more about that adamantium stuff. I don't know.
Stuff.
The Spectacular Spider-Man number 8 is coming out. Batman and Robin Year One from Wade and Somni is dropping. Yes. Declan Shalvey is going to be taking, not a break, but he's going to be jumping from across the pond, so to speak, from Terminator over to Mystique #1. From him and Matt Hollingsworth is going to be doing the coloring on that one.
Yeah,
but Declan's doing the writing and the art.
Yeah, the writing and the art for sure.
So yeah, a little shout out to my colleague, I suppose I could call him.
Yes, yes, you can.
If you like Last Ronin, the sequel, Re-Evolution, is getting into its 3rd issue. That's dropping. There's a new Batman called Batman Full Moon #1 with some great logo on it that I like. I don't know anything about it.
I was going to
I'm sorry.
do that one.
Well,
I will do that one
great.
still.
Do it again. Spider-Man Reign 2 #4 is coming out. Oh boy, do I like this book for some reason.
I think that's so funny. That's so funny.
Jenny Sparks #3 is a book I'm reading, and I don't know if I like it, but I appreciate it.
Okay. Because
that's what I could say about that.
I can't believe this is still coming out.
I know, what? Isn't it over? Yeah.
So silly.
And I didn't read Violator Origin, so I can't recommend 2. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny, because you know who did peek at it while we were at Zap for your signing?
You.
Ethan.
Did he? How did he like it?
He was like, what is happening? And he's like he's like, where's all the Violator? There's no Violator in this book. And I was like, Ethan, obviously this person we're looking at will become Violator.
What?
Clearly this is some sort of like Lucifer thing. And he turns the page and there's like an angel falling type of thing. And he's like, okay.
Oh my god. Is it? Oh, that's right. It's Violator Origin. We're gonna find out the origin of Violator.
Yeah,
Pass.
He was so mad about it. I was like, okay, well.
You're like, well, I know my shit. Like I say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, I'm like, apparently I could have written Violator.
Yeah. Well, you'd be in high company because what's his name? Alan Moore wrote the first Violator series.
I know. All right. So what are some things that are coming out for me?
Well, I know there's a Batman book that you
I know. I want to give a shout out. Usually like once a year,
another issue of the series.
A Chilling Adventures style book from Archie Comics coming out. This time it's Chilling Adventures Presents The 9 Lives of Salem. #1, written by Cullen Bunn with art by Dan Schoening.
And Ben Galvin. But
and
like,
Ben
I can't believe, Dan, why did you didn't tell me about your Salem book, man? That's awesome.
Also did the cover on that for sure. Look, very different style for Dan. Dan Schoening, friend of the show, friend of Sal's. Ours. Found him originally for a project.
Yes, a comic book project that didn't go anywhere. But
but like still got some amazing art.
He got Deviation of the Week or something.
Yes, has been working on or had worked on Ghostbusters, Back to the Future. And if you follow Dan Schoening right now, every October he does this like post-it thing where like he takes a literal tiny post-it and he draws art on it, and it's really incredible.
It's always so good.
It's always so good. You can follow him on his socials to see those. But yeah, like
that's
amazing.
So cool. That's worth a pickup.
Yeah, amazing work.
I heard about this book.
I've heard about this book too. There's another book from IDW coming out again in time for spooky season. The Exorcism at 1600 Pen #1, written by Hannah Rose May with art by Vanessa R. Del Rey. So you might want to check that out if you're looking for something horror style. I think it's being touted as a supernatural horror. Hello. Perfect for fans of Nice House on the Lake and The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes.
So I feel like that's a lot of us. So you might want to go check that out.
Definitely.
Again from IDW. There's another Marvel book coming out, which looks like it's a collection of things, which it probably will possibly carry a higher price tag. Oh, it doesn't. It's only $5, 32 pages. Not bad. It's called Crypt of Shadows. A series of writers on this, including Ben Percy, Chris Condon, Jason Liu, Steve Orlando, and several artists like Carlos Magno, Claire Rowe,
and more.
Oh, I know. I feel bad. Like Raphael Ienco and Gibril Morissette Fan. I apologize. I'm just gonna apologize. I'm sorry. Yep. I'm bad. It's not you. It's me. But like obviously we got a collection of Marvel characters on the front, and I'm guessing it's a series of short stories, which I'm excited for. I mean, we got like Scarlet Witch and Craven's there. I know at least one person might be excited about that.
And
we'll
Man
see.
Thing.
And Man Thing and Werewolf by
Hot
Night.
Agatha.
And Hot Agatha.
So I will never call her Agatha Harkness. I'm just going to call her Hot Agatha from now on.
Hot
That's
Agatha.
what we want her to think of.
There's a fun-looking Black Label book coming out from
really?
DC called Batman Full Moon. I want to call it Blood Moon. Batman Full Moon, written by Rodney Barnes with art by Stevan Subic.
Not
Stevan? Stevan? I don't know.
Yeah.
Rodney Barnes, you may know from Philadelphia. The like vampire
Yeah.
book. So I'm here for this.
You know, I don't think we've ever done a Batman werewolf.
I know.
So here it is.
That was very much like it was almost. I mean, we still could. I could switch it at the last minute.
No.
I'm okay with that. Whatever you want to do.
No, this is fine.
But yeah, like literally there's a werewolf on the cover. I actually really like the fact that this is black and white, and I wonder if the
whole book is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
doubt it. I doubt that as well. But listen.
It might be only because it's Batman. And like it could get away with it.
Sure. And this is we'll see how this goes. We'll see what Roddy's take is on Batman with magical stuff, because I always love when Batman's like,
oh man, here I go again.
But it looks like he'll be dealing with Zatanna as well. So I'm here for it.
Nice.
Oh my god, each issue of the series boasts a striking glow in the dark main cover.
I gotta add this to the pull list, but it comes out this week. I gotta go get it. Oh no.
Please do.
We gotta go find it. Oh crap! I'm gonna be in the city on Wednesday. I guess I'll have to go to Midtown.
Just call someone and ask them
just call someone.
Just call someone and ask them to put one aside.
All right, I'll see what I could do. I think I could just order it directly from the stash.
Please and thank. I am such a sucker for glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Do you know my slippers glow in the dark?
No.
The pumpkin faces do.
That makes sense.
I discovered that last night when I was like,
awesome.
"What is that?" Never mind. Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu #1 is coming out by Jed MacKay with art by Alessandro Cappuccio. If you thought Jed MacKay was done with talking about Moon Knight, you are wrong. This is, for me, I was talking to actually someone during your signing about the difference between like MacKay on Moon Knight, on Doctor Strange, on Avengers, on X-Men. It's just that like you can feel the love he has for this character. It's not that he doesn't love the others. Like I think he definitely likes
a different kind.
It's just different. Like I think that's why this has gripped me so much. It's just you can feel his love and his energy for this character. So I'm thrilled that they will be continuing. Gripped.
Oh hey.
Yeah, I got to catch back up on Uncanny X-Men, Gail Simone, David Marquez. I apologize for falling off that, but I fell off pretty hard. And I feel like that with New York Comic Con, it's like the worst time.
It is the worst time. Well, for reading comic books.
For catching up.
It's true. And let's see here. We had Diemi Mabotabi. Thank you very much for your generosity. We do appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, we want to thank our audience for being great. Thank you to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. Thank you to Dynamite and Alex for stopping by and promoting the upcoming releases and other fun merch that's coming out from Dynamite as well.
This was like a really long episode.
It was. I'm sorry. It was a double. I still got some energy left over from the 4-hour live stream we did with Josh. But listen, as a quick roundup, obviously, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications so you know when we're coming out. Of course, check out our Patreon if you want to support us directly, patreon.com/ComicPop. But if you want to find other places that are ComicPop related, you can always swing by youtube.com @ComicPop Plays or twitch.tv/ComicPop. Those links and every link that we make anything at are in the doobly-doo down below, so make sure to subscribe to that as well. If you want to see Tiffany or me at New York Comic Con, we're going to be happening on Friday and Saturday. That is me and Ben probably will be there on Friday. We're going to be at Zap Comics booth. That's I think it's 3745. That's just look for Zap Comics, ZAPP, but I think it's 3745. But follow our socials to see the more detailed oriented versions of that. I'll make sure to make the community posts and Twitter announcements and Discord, whatever's. And it'll be on Reddit and everything like that. Reddit.com/r/ComicPop. But yeah, Friday, Zap Comics, New York Comic Con, 2:30, and Saturday, Zap Comics, 3745, at 2:30. Tiffany and me, and Owen Likes Comics. It's also going to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm like, I always feel weird because I'm just like, don't come to talk to me.
You do. People like you. Did they talk to you at the signing?
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, it's weird. That's why if you ever run into me and I'm just like, what? It's because I'm like,
she's not annoyed. She's just
I'm just confused.
10 years doing this, and she's still surprised people like her. But definitely check that out if you're going to be at Comic-Con, and if you see us at any point during Comic-Con, whether it's on the streets of Manhattan, on the floor at the Javits, going to a thing up the River Pavilion, please stop us and say hi and take a picture. don't
At
wait
least
for
say
me.
hi. Yeah, absolutely. Do it up. And make sure you say hi to Sal, writer of the Terminator backup.
That's right.
Published Terminator writer, Sal
Thank you.
Crivelli.
Typical Spider. Love the long episode. More Comic Pop is always good.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. And by the way, I want to try something. I don't want to be rude. So, but what I wanted to say, if you watch the show and you're going to be at New York Comic Con, I think I did a little like poll at the top of the show. So I think like 20% are going, maybe less.
Okay.
But that's still
I
a significant
voted.
amount. If 20% of the audience friggin' came to see us at one day, it would be unbelievable. Which is actually one time we did that at Dewey's Comic City. Remember that? Or no, I'm Joe Kubert's school. 60 people showed up in that one show.
It was really great.
It's outrageous.
It was really, it was
unbelievable.
wonderful.
Yeah.
It was really nice to see everybody.
Yes. But I'm thinking
Okay.
I want to try, because I try to do this every year, but I don't get ahead of it. No handshakes this year.
Okay.
We're gonna do fist bumps this year.
Okay.
Just to try and mitigate a little bit. I had COVID from San Diego. I really don't want to get it again. I had it from San Diego. I should be good. I got my shot, but you never know.
But you can still get a
But I don't want the cold, the flu, dysentery. So we're gonna try the fist bump. And I don't want to be, and don't take it personally.
Yes.
Everybody's getting a fist bump. And if you see me shaking hands, know that it is against my will.
Or see, you lost control of your faculties.
Yes.
Because that will happen too.
Or I'm trying to make a deal with somebody. Like I'm talking to somebody who's like running a company. Like I can't always explain that. But like when it comes to us, know that it's the ComicPop secret handshake. The secret handshake now is the fist bump. And I know longstanding fans of this channel want the handshake because we taught you that you need a good grip and a fine pump. A good handshake is invaluable. But that was in a pre-COVID world. And now just give me a fist bump. I promise you, it means just as much to me.
So hug is on the table?
You know what? I would hug. Because my head, our heads can't be in better directions.
He said it. He said it.
Yeah, not all the time, and don't make it weird.
Someone,
don't slide your hand or anything, but like,
don't whisper anything.
Yeah, don't whisper anything to me.
Someone asked if you're going to Baltimore next year.
Yeah. I mean, like, we couldn't go because we had a family engagement.
Yes.
That needed to that took precedence.
Yes.
But yes, I love that show. We go every year. This is the only year in like 10 years we haven't been, and it's only because
we gotta watch the new Hellboy. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear it really. It's really good.
Don't be mean.
I hear it really sucks.
Don't be mean.
I heard it's a tragedy because it's like might be one of the best on-screen Hellboys and one of the worst Hellboy movies ever made.
Dang.
It's hard to do because that Golden Army movie sucked.
Whisper Hell
Hydra. That is the only one I'll accept.
Don't do it.
But don't
it's
do
gonna
it.
happen.
Well, and if you have to whisper, only whisper to me. Don't whisper to Tiffany. Don't creep her out.
I'll be like, wait, no, because here's what will happen. I won't be able to hear it, and I'll be like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. What'd you do? Nothing. No. But anyway, that's it. So we want to thank you. This is the last Off the Rack until New York Comic Con is over. So
boom.
We're off. We'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Thanks to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. And thanks to the chat for being cool and respectful. And we'll see you guys next time with another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.